Fordham Rams are back in action after their bye week for some homecoming havoc with the Dartmouth Big Green. 2 weeks ago, the Rams fell on the road against Lafayette. This week offers another break from Patriot League play as Fordham looks to get back into the win column against an Ivy League opponent.
So no in between.
Dartmouth comes to Rose Hill off an improbable comeback victory against Yale last week, scoring all 17 of their points in the fourth quarter. The Big Green won on a 51-yard field goal as time expired. Last year in New Hampshire, the Big Green routed the Rams. This year, Fordham looks to flip the script in front of the Ram faithful at Moglia Stadium. It's the Patriot League versus the Ivy League. It's the Fordham Rams versus the Dartmouth Big Green. It's Fordham Football, and it's coming up next on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you live inside Moglia Stadium for Fordham University's homecoming and this presentation of Fordham Rams football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports. I am Tucker Austin alongside Brendan Shorey with Isabella Terracini patrolling the sidelines for us today. It is a picture-perfect autumn afternoon here on Rose Hill. Temperatures in the mid to low 60s and a bright blue sky here on the third Saturday in October. Fordham getting set for a non-conference bout with the Dartmouth Big Green of the Ivy League. And Brendan and I had a chance to catch up with Fordham football head coach Joe Conlon yesterday. Take a listen to the coach's sound right now.
Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey here with Fordham Rams head football coach Joe Conlon ahead of Fordham's homecoming game against Dartmouth. And Coach, 2 weeks ago, Fordham had 10 receivers with at least a catch and 4 receivers with at least 4 catches. How important is it for Gunnar Smith to have so many options available to him in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's great to be able to spread the ball around, so kind of keeps teams honest in coverage and things like that. So, and Gunnar, you know, he's been never one to lock in on one guy. Which is good, and you know we're blessed with a bunch of guys that can play at that position. So you know it's not particularly surprising, and obviously good to see.
One of those guys, Ricky Gonzalez, seems like he had the breakout that we have been waiting for this season, a season high in receptions and receiving yards. What did you see from him last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, he was healthy and able to play fast and at his speed. And Ricky's a big, strong kid, and he's 204 pounds and you know, with good speed. And when he's feeling good, he's able to use that size and speed to his advantage, and he was able to against Lafayette.
And so Fordham's been missing one of their captains on defense, Alex Kemper, for a few weeks now. Is he ready to come back this week? And if so, how big of a comeback is that for the defense and for the whole team, especially with a guy as impactful as Alex Kemper?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it provides depth in the secondary. When Kemp's feeling good, he was able to take some practice reps, so we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow. But yeah, you know, he's feeling good, and Coach Updegraff did a great job with him, so hopefully we'll be able to get some snaps out of him on Saturday.
Speaking of the Fordham defense, this Dartmouth offense has been so good on the ground so far this season, averaging 175 yards on the ground. A majority of their touchdowns have come on the ground as well. How do you kind of prepare your defense for a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of let them know, like, hey, you boys want to have success. You know, you got to stop the run. Yeah, I mean, they do a good job. I know those guys pretty well. Keith does a good job with those guys, and has been for a while. And you know, wide zone, inside zone, and you know, if you stop that, and the other factor with them is the quarterback is good with his legs, so you got to do a great job of keeping him in the pocket, and that's what got them in the scoring position against Yale. Is, you know, the kid scrambled on that last drive and was able to get them down there. So you got to do a great job and you know, stopping those, you know, kind of 3 plays, scrambles, wide zone, inside zone, you got a chance.
And speaking kind of more broadly, not just on the offensive side of the ball, Dartmouth has size all over the place at the line of scrimmage, both sides of the football. So what's the overall approach preparing to play a team
that really wants to enforce their will at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of always who they've been, big up front, kind of, I wouldn't say vanilla on defense. They do a great job mixing up coverage, but you don't get a lot of front variation from these guys. 17% blitz team, something like that. So it's and they've always been big on their offensive line. You just got to do a great job playing underneath pads, using your hands. You can move guys around a little bit and things like that. Try to create some opportunities for your defense, but you just got to play physically at the end of the day.
Speaking of the Dartmouth defense, it seems that they've kind of been a little better against the pass than they have the run this year. How does that kind of affect the way you prepare your guys going into this game?
I mean, give up 118 on the ground with 213 through the air, so playing good defense. What they do is they tackle well. They get you on the ground and they try to make you drive the ball. It's hard to stack up good plays. So in there, the defense kind of always keeps them in the game. So yeah, I mean they're talented. In the secondary, they got guys. They're always close to the ball. But like all things, if you want to win games, you got to be able to run. So, you prepare the pass game as what's going to work against coverage. You're really trying to run the football.
And then, what did the bye week look like for you guys? Was it a bit more of a restful bye, or were you guys using the opportunity to put in a little more work than you usually would?
No, I mean we gave the guys some time off. At the same time, though, when we came back, we tried to pick up an extra padded practice this week on Sunday, which we did. But we got some good work last week with the younger guys. Gave some of the upper class a chance to rest their bodies a little bit and get ready for what's ahead. Took a little bit off in the weight room. Let them kind of get back to feeling good. And the guys said, this week they say they feel great. So.
Thank you, Coach, so much for your time. As always, the Fordham Rams back in action in their homecoming game against the Dartmouth Big Green. That's coming up next on WFUV Sports. And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Tucker Austin, Brendan Shorey with you. Isabella Terracini is the third member of our crew. And the Fordham Rams and Dartmouth Big Green have both taken the field. They're getting ready for the coin toss. Brendan, coming off the bye week for the Fordham Rams and with all of the pomp and circumstance of homecoming, what kind of energy can we expect from these Rams today?
Yeah, I think they're eager to get out there and hit someone. They got a big week off last week with that bye week, but they didn't get to get out there and go play the football that they love playing every weekend. And so between that and homecoming this weekend with alumni coming back and everyone showing out to the football game today, I think there's going to be very high energy from this Fordham team, Tucker.
As the captains walk out to the Block F logo at midfield for the coin toss, I can see number 14 out there, Brendan. Alex Kemper is back for the Fordham Rams, the captain on the defensive side. What kind of an impact can we bring? Of course, we heard Coach Conlon talk a little bit about him during the coach's sound.
Yeah, I mean, he's the leader of the secondary. He's the leader of this back part of this Fordham defense, and he's been missed these past few games. He's a great player, a great coverage corner, just a great leader to have out there on the field. And so he's going to be a big player to have back today. Another person out there, Tucker, Claudia Robinson, who we didn't know if he was going to play either.
Yeah, big, very big for the Fordham defense. Claudia Robinson, they've been missing him for a majority of the season. Waiting on the coin toss here, this Dartmouth team has a lot of size on the offensive line and on the defensive line. As Dartmouth wins the toss, they defer it to the second half. So Fordham will get the ball first. But Brendan, a lot of size on both sides of the line for this Dartmouth team and a couple of very strong running backs to go with it.
Yeah, Tucker, this game looks like it's going to be won in the trenches, won or lost in the trenches. That is a very big team up front on both sides, offense and defense, for Dartmouth. And some running backs that you wouldn't exactly say they're the elusive type, but are very strong runners, and they will run through people, so a big thing to watch for today.
Fordham's defense has hardened up over the past couple of weeks. Of course, they didn't play last week, but Fordham's defense couldn't keep teams from scoring 40 points through the first 4 games of the season, but then really finally brought things together against Holy Cross at home. Now this, the first home game since that Holy Cross game. Fordham fell to Lafayette 2 weeks ago. They stand at 1-5. Dartmouth stands at 3-1, coming off of an improbable fourth quarter victory against Yale last week, Brendan.
Yeah, game-winning field goal as time expires. Not just a game-winning field goal from 50-plus yards, a 51-yarder to win that game. Dartmouth scored all 17 of their points in that fourth quarter in a big comeback win last week, Tucker.
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns out of their quarterback, Grayson Saunier. And then, like you mentioned, that 51-yarder for the win from the leg of Owen Zalk. But out comes Matisse Weaver, the kickoff specialist for Dartmouth. Back to return for the Fordham Rams is Troy Worrell. And alongside him is Vinny Rugai. Dartmouth wearing white helmets, white jerseys with black pants with a white stripe down the side, green numbers and lettering. Fordham in full body maroon, maroon helmets, white jersey or maroon jerseys rather with white letters and white stripes, maroon pants with white stripes as well. Ready for the kickoff between the Patriot League and the Ivy League, Dartmouth and Fordham. And the kick is away. We are underway from the Bronx. Kick is received by Rugai at the 8-yard line, and he takes it up to the 20, now to the 25, and brought down. Looks just short of the 25, and Fordham will start their first drive of the day from their own 24.
Yeah, great thing on this kickoff returns. When you have 2 guys back there like Worrell, who didn't get the ball that time, he turns into your lead blocker, and he led the way right there for Rugai to pick up those yards.
Out comes Gunnar Smith and the Fordham offense. Smith, a 58% completion percentage this year, 1,518 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and 203 yards gained on the ground, but only a net of 39. He's in the shotgun with Ricky Parks offset to his left, 2 wide receivers stacked on the right, and 1 wide to the left. Smith calls an audible here, now resets, takes a shotgun snap. It's a handoff to Ricky Parks up the middle, and he bounces around to the left, gets around the hash marks, and he's brought down at the 24. No gain on the first play.
Yeah, we're already seeing some trickery here from the Dartmouth defense, walking a couple guys up onto the line, showing blitz, but then dropping off.
Parks stays in at running back to the left of Gunnar Smith, still in the shotgun. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left, both stacked up. Takes the snap. It's another handoff to Parks, and he finds a hole this time, but doesn't get too many yards. He's brought down. He's marked just a yard beyond the line of scrimmage. It brings up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, run pass option there. Gunnar Smith decides to hand it off instead of throwing the screen pass outside. Good decision. The screen passes didn't look like they were going to be very open.
Almost a minute gone. 14-10 on the clock here in the first quarter. Fordham already in a 3rd down and long scenario. Gunnar Smith looks to the sideline for his call. Couple of receivers switching sides. Jack Freeberg on the left. Alongside him is Noden Tracy. Now he goes to the right, does Freeberg. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap, now dumps it off for Parks on the screen, and he gets upfield across the 30, brought down at the 34, and that's going to be a yard short, brings up a 4th down and 1.
I love that play design there. Ricky Parks looks like he's just going to the flat as a check down option and then reverses back inside and has blockers in front of him.
Offense stays on the field. Fordham looks like they're going for a tush push here. Gunnar Smith is under center with 3 guys behind him. One of them's Jaden Allen, another one Freeberg in the running back. The snap, and he pushes forward, surging at the Fordham line of scrimmage. The spot looks to be favorable to the Rams. And I believe they are going to get the first down. The signal is for a first down. Fordham moves the chains on a risky 4th down play on the first drive of the game.
Yeah, short yardage, tush push has a very high success rate, but going for it on your own 30-yard line is very risky.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun now with a fresh set of downs from the Fordham 34-yard line. 2 receivers stacked on the left, short side of the field, 1 receiver wide to the right. Running back offset to the right. Takes the snap, play action, looking to pass over the middle. It's nearly intercepted, but it falls incomplete at the 42. Patrick Campbell nearly a pick 6 almost there for Dartmouth.
Yeah, that's great coverage there by Campbell. He is all over Freeberg. there's not a whole lot of space for Gunner to try and fit that ball into, and that one almost went the other way.
2nd down and 10, 12:32 with the stopped clock here in the first quarter. Gunner Smith in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, running back offset to his right. Takes the snap, looking to pass, fires immediately to the left, but it's tipped at the line of scrimmage and falls incomplete once again. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Campbell, the guy in coverage there again. It looked like he was coming down hard on that pass to Noden Tracy. It might be a good thing that that ball was tipped, because that one honestly could have gone the other way as well.
3 receivers in trips on the right side with 1 on the left. Gunner Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. Looks like 4 rushing for Dartmouth, maybe 5. They could bring pressure here on 3rd down. Running back switches to the right side of Gunner Smith. Smith takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws to the right. It's a big screen for Freeberg, and he gets upfield across the 35 and down at the 39-yard line, but that brings up a 4th and middle, and the punt unit comes out for Fordham.
Yeah, Tucker, that's 2 third downs and longs and 2 screen passes from this Fordham offense. It looks like they're expecting this Dartmouth defense to blitz heavily on 3rd downs.
And so the first drive of the day for Fordham is fruitless. They'll punt it away. Ball on their own 39-yard line. Will Hazlitt out there to punt it away for Fordham. And the punt returner Ian Scott is back for Dartmouth. Punt is away. It's a pretty good one. It's going to fall near the 24. It's received, and now he's across the 30 with some room. Gets up to the 40 and across the 40. There's a flag behind the play. Ball is down at the 41-yard line of Dartmouth, but we'll see what the flag is here.
That punt return just kind of worked out perfectly for Dartmouth. He was able to catch it on the run, already evading defenders, pick up a few extra yards. We will see what the flag is, though.
Yeah, Scott caught that one in stride, immediately made a Fordham defender miss, and got roughly 15 yards out of that return, but it looks like it's going to be coming back for a hold.
Yeah, that's going to take away anything gained from that return. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It's going to back Dartmouth up.
So an early mistake for the Dartmouth Big Green on special teams. It's going to back them up for their first drive all the way to the 12-yard line. So Fordham's defense shored up with Claudie Robinson and Alex Kemper both back in the starting lineup this week. Has Dartmouth pinned inside their own 20. Grayson Saunier out there in the shotgun. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left, running back offset to his right. Takes the snap, hands it off to the left, and there's a hole there. Getting 5, maybe 6 yards on that play to open the drive for Dartmouth.
Coach Conlin knew what they wanted to do. They like to run these zone plays, outside zone, inside zone. This one, an outside zone to Crother. He's able to pick up a few.
Crother still the back for Dartmouth. Shotgun for Saunier, puts a man in motion, 2 receivers on the left and 2 on the right. Takes the shotgun snap, fires to his left. He has a man across the first down marker, and it'll be a new set of downs for the Big Green.
Really quick drop back there by Saunier. Just 2 steps, hits his back foot, and gets that ball out quickly for the first down.
First down and 10 from their own 24-yard line. 10 minutes 43 to play in the first quarter. Saunier in the shotgun. Crother offset to his right. 2 receivers on the right and 1 on the left, but he's in motion. Takes the snap. Play action, back to pass. He's pressured, flushed out of the pocket. Now he'll keep it, and he gets by a man. Now he's upfield, gets about 4 yards on the scramble. Grayson Saunier making something out of nothing.
Yeah, Saunier is always a threat to run there. If he sees nothing that he likes down the field, he will take off. We just saw him do it in this play, and it's going to happen again this game.
Yeah, Saunier with 2 rushing touchdowns in last week's game against Yale. 95 yards on the ground and 14 attempts to go with 158 yards through the air on 15 for 22 passing. Crother still back there, offset to the right of Saunier. 2 receivers to the left and 2 on the right. Takes the shotgun snap and hands it off to Crother up the left side. Gets a bit of a push through the line of scrimmage and gets about 4. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short.
This Dartmouth offensive line is getting some push early in this game. It's going to be a big test for this Fordham defensive line if they can stop that push.
need to stop the run game. Dartmouth prides themselves on establishing the run, though still dangerous through the air. Shotgun for Saunier. Crother to his right. Takes the snap, hands it off to Crother, and he's plugged up, but gets a pair of yards, and that is enough for a new set of downs.
Tucker, we mentioned how strong these running backs are. That time, Crother runs through Drew Minnick and falls forward for the first down.
Good power rushing by Crother that time, as the clock will tick under 9 minutes here. First down and 10, Dartmouth from their own 36-yard line. 2 receivers on the left, no receivers to the right. Running back set up behind Saunier. Saunier takes the snap, hands it off to Crother again. Crother looks up the middle, then bounces to the right, but he's wrapped up almost immediately. It's a short gain that time. It'll be a second down and 6.
Yeah, again there, Crother falling forward at the end of the run. That's what running backs are taught from a very young age. Fall forward, pick up that extra yard.
And Desmond Jackson, the secondary running back, jumps into the game for Dartmouth. Saunier sets up in the shotgun once again with Jackson to his left, a wide receiver on the right, and 1 wide receiver on the left, ball on their own 40. Takes the snap, play action, drops back to pass, looking right, pressure, now throws to the right, fluttering ball, and it's caught at the 35-yard line. Big play that time for the tight end Chris Corbo, and Dartmouth flips the field.
Fantastic job in the pocket by Saunier on that one. He feels the pressure coming off both edges, steps up into that pocket, and delivers a beautiful ball down the sideline.
All the way to Fordham's 31-yard line, 7:45 and ticking here in the first quarter. Saunier set up in the shotgun again. Running back offset to his left. 3 receivers on the left side, ball on the right hash. Claps to the snap. Hands it off up the middle to Desmond Jackson. A huge push from the Fordham tacklers, but forward progress gives him about 7 yards.
That's a fantastic job there by Jackson. He sees 0 holes open up the middle, which is where that run is supposed to go. So he bounces it back and cuts back and is able to pick up about 6 yards.
DJ Crother back in the game. Dartmouth moving the ball effectively in their opening drive here. Clock will tick under 7 in the first quarter. Still scoreless. Saunier in the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right, but they put a man in motion to the left side. Running back offset to his left. It's a handoff to Crother up the middle, and he still gets that 2 or 3 yards power football up the middle early on from Dartmouth.
Yeah, power football. Linemen get low, get some yards, move the line of scrimmage up, and just let the running back follow.
3rd down and 1 from the Fordham 22-yard line. Most of the first quarter is already gone here. It's been a long opening possession for the Dartmouth Big Green after a quick punt by the Fordham Rams. Under center for Saunier with a running back in the Ashton Genty position behind him. It's Crother up the middle, and he gets plenty of yards, still pushing at the 10-yard line in a huge scrum, and he's brought down right there, but plenty enough for the first down. And that should bring up 1st and goal here from the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Tucker, that play right there is just Dartmouth saying, we are confident that we are stronger than you. We're going to get pushed, and we're going to go pick up this first down.
It's the first guy who isn't Ashton Genty that I've seen stand straight up in the backfield in the single back formation. DJ Crother stays out there for Dartmouth. Saunier going to line up under center once again. Wide receiver to the left. No receivers on the right. Saunier takes the snap. Another handoff to Crother, going up the middle. Fordham defense was there that time, though, but he still gets that extremely reliable 2 yards.
It's a great job there by Alex Kemper. You're facing a very strong running back, but he comes off the edge, wraps him up, and waits for his teammates to get there to help make the tackle.
And Fordham brings out the bigger defensive unit. Claudie Robinson and Sam Burkle both out there to play in the interior of the defensive line. Saunier sets up in the shotgun with 3 receivers to his right from the Fordham 8-yard line. 4:48 to go here in the first quarter. Takes the snap, looking to pass, looks to his right, throws to his right, back corner of the end zone, but it's overthrown and falls incomplete. Clock will stop at 4:41.
Yeah, Drew Minnick, the guy there in coverage, is a corner route, and he does a great job staying with the route and getting his head back, finding the ball, and watching it go out of bounds.
Desmond Jackson is in the game once again. DJ Crother getting a breather. Brings up a 3rd down and goal here from the Fordham 8-yard line. Fordham trying to hold strong defensively against Dartmouth's opening drive. Grayson Saunier in the shotgun. Running back offset to his left. Receiver on the left and 2 on the right. Drops back to pass. He's pressured, flushed out of the pocket by Osman, and he's going to keep it now. He tries to get to the goal line, but he's wrapped up at the 2 and brought out of bounds. Clock stops at 4:32, and that brings up a 4th down and about 2 to go before the goal line for Dartmouth. Decision time for head coach Sammy McCorkle.
And it looks like the offense is staying out there, Tucker. It looks like they are confident that they can get this touchdown.
They've been moving the ball effectively for the entirety of this first quarter of this opening drive. So McCorkle looks like he's going to stick to his guns offensively here and try to get the 6. Looks like a wildcat formation this time. Crother is in, offset to the left. Saunier keeps. He dives, but he's short. Called down at the 1-yard line. And Fordham comes up with a huge 4th down stop on Dartmouth's opening drive.
Yeah, that one looked like a speed option. He has the option to pitch that to Crother or take it himself. Saunier decides to keep it and is brought down on about the half-yard line, Tucker. So close.
So close and yet so far. Truly a game of inches as he's brought down at the half-yard line. Couldn't quite see the rest of Saunier's number there. I thought they brought in a wide receiver to take a wildcat snap, but they stuck with their guy who got 2 rushing touchdowns last week. They tried to get him another one early in this game, but Fordham's defense stands very strong. But Fordham now is backed up deep into their own territory here. Effectively, the entire team is going to be playing out of their own end zone.
Yeah, this is where the offensive line needs to be almost perfect. You have to get just a yard of push, reset that line of scrimmage, move it up a couple of yards, give your running back space to get you out of the end zone.
So big decision that time from the Big Green head coach, Sammy McCorkle. In his 3rd season with the team, he's got a 17-7 record at Dartmouth. Of course, he was with the team when they beat Fordham up in New Hampshire last season. But Brendan, you got a couple of notes on head coach McCorkle.
I do. He's a very defensive-minded coach. Dartmouth under him has been very good defensively and very good in their special teams unit. That's because he used to play defensive back at Florida, the University of Florida. He was a phenomenal player for them. He has their single season and career record for blocked punts. He was the Florida Special Teams Player of the Year twice in his career. He has had various coaching positions, special teams coaches, secondary coaches, defensive coordinator, stuff like that. He is very, very defensive, and we'll see how that plays out today, Tucker.
Fordham, in its history against Dartmouth, it's not a very long sheet, but Fordham is 1-5 all time against the Dartmouth Big Green, 0-2 here in the Bronx. First game between these schools took place in 1951 and was Fordham's only win of the series. They got a 14-6 victory at Dartmouth. The most recent game came last year at Dartmouth also, and was also the largest win by margin in the history of the series. 45-13, the Big Green got the win. After the 1951 game, they didn't play again until 1994, and then played each other for 4 years from 1994 to 1997, Fordham losing all 4 of those contests, and the series was renewed last year. Fordham looking to end a 5-game losing streak against the Big Green as both teams back out on the field. Gunnar Smith for his 2nd drive of the day in the shotgun. Running back offset to his left. 1 receiver to the right and 1 way out to the left is Noden Tracy, standing on the G of the goal line. Smith takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Parks, and he breaks free, and he has space across the 10. He's tackled across the 15, down at the 17-yard line, but a big play by Ricky Parks to get Fordham out from their own end zone.
Unsung hero on this play is going to be Gunnar Smith with his claps before the snap, false clapping, trying to get this Dartmouth defense to show who's coming, who's not. He's able to pick up who's blitzing, who's not, changes the play to the run to the right after he sees the pressure coming off the left side.
The referees are deliberating on the far side of the field, trying to figure out if Ricky Parks... Oh, there's a flag on the field on that side. I couldn't see because of the Fordham offensive line standing there, and it looks like they're going to be coming back. So Ricky Parks' explosive play to break Fordham out looks like it's going to be negated here.
Personal foul. Face mask. Offense.
Face mask on the offense. You don't see that very often, Tucker.
Replay first down.
No, an offensive face mask is certainly a very avoidable penalty. So Fordham, with the ball already on the half-yard line, they'll simply come back to where they already were.
Back it up about 3 inches.
Yeah, maybe. So Fordham, although it looks like they're going to be moved a bit further. It's kind of a weird ball spotting scenario here.
15 yards from the spot of the foul. Looks like that foul was downfield then.
So ball actually on the 6, looks like maybe the 7-yard line of Fordham, 1st down and 4. It's a handoff to Parks, who tries to bounce it around to the right side, but excellent tackle in the backfield there by the Dartmouth linebacker to bring up 2nd down.
Harrison Keith there with the tackle. He sets the edge so well and does not let Ricky Parks bounce that one outside.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun again. Ricky Parks to his right, even. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. 2nd down from their own 9. It's a keeper for Smith. He gets around to the right side. Excellent block by Jaden Allen. And Gunnar Smith across the 10 and out of bounds at the 14-yard line has a 1st down for the Rams with 2:54 to go here in the 1st.
Tucker, you mentioned his name. Jaden Allen on that play comes from the left side and lead blocks for Gunnar Smith, is able to get him that 1st down yardage.
Both these quarterbacks know how to use their legs. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun again, running back to his left. It's a halfback toss to Ricky Parks, but there's no edge for him to find that time. Multiple Dartmouth defenders sniffed that one out, and it's a gain of just 2, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, another great job by this Dartmouth defense of getting outside and setting the edge. You cannot let anyone get outside of you.
Really more like a 2nd down and 9 here. Clock at 2:15 in a scoreless game between Fordham and Dartmouth here in the 1st quarter. Absolutely gorgeous day for football this afternoon. Plenty of fans in attendance for the Fordham Rams homecoming. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on the right and 2 on the left. Takes the snap, hands it off up the middle, but there's a flag on the far side of the field. It's going to be a false start against the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, one of the offensive linemen jumped a little early trying to get to his block, but you just can't get off that early. It's going to come back.
Number 71.
Fordham out of the gates a little sloppy here with the mistakes between the face mask and now the false start. Even though they have been picking up good yardage trying to get out of their own end of the field here, they keep shooting themselves in the foot. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on the left and 2 on the right. Play action, looking to pass, looks to his right, fires to the right, and he has a man. It's Noden Tracy across the 20, brought down at the 22. And it'll be a 3rd down and short after that.
Yeah, Dartmouth only with a 3-man pressure there. Left a lot of guys back in coverage, but Gunnar Smith was able to find the hole.
3 receivers lined up on the left side, the far side. Ball on the right hash at the Fordham 22. Gunnar Smith takes the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff, and keeps. And he has the 1st down and a little bit more across the 25 and brought down at the 27-yard line. 1:15 to go in the 1st quarter. Fordham fresh set of downs.
Read option there between Gunnar Smith and the running back. Gunnar makes the right decision. He sees the defensive end crash and keeps it.
2 receivers to the right, 2 on the left. Running back offset to the right of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Dartmouth brings 4. Gunnar Smith back to pass. He's pressured, gets the ball out, but it's incomplete to the right side. Gunnar Smith took a shot on that play.
That was a great job by the Dartmouth defensive line. They collapsed the pocket, but in a way where there was nowhere for Gunnar to escape. Great job by him getting that ball out, but you have to shout out the Dartmouth defensive line for that pressure.
53 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Clock stopped after the incompletion. 3 receivers on the right. Ball on the left hash at the Fordham 28-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. And he hands it off up the middle. Across the 30, brought down at the 33-yard line. I believe it's Jamel James with the carry that time.
Yeah, Jamel James still working back from injury. Only 3 carries last game, but he was injured for the few games before that. Working his way back, he was a big part of the Fordham run game before that.
Shotgun again for Gunnar Smith. Motions Jamel James out of the backfield. 2 receivers to the left and 2 on the right. James motioned out and then returns to the backfield. He's set up even to Gunnar Smith's right. Smith takes the snap, looking to pass. Looks left, and he's pressured immediately. He's going to be brought down in the backfield for a sack. 2 Dartmouth hats on the football that time, and a big loss on 3rd down brings up 4th and much too far. Punt unit out for the 2nd time today.
Thaddeus Generis does a great job getting in there and getting that sack, forcing the punt for Fordham.
And that brings us to the end of the first quarter. We're scoreless between Fordham and Dartmouth, but before the start of the second half, we'll send it back to the Rose Hill studio for the one-on-one scoreboard. Here's Anthony Smith.
Thanks, guys. Keeping you updated with the Patriot League here. Colgate is on the road for some conference play, battling against Georgetown. The Hoyas are searching for their first win against a Patriot League opponent. Score is 7-0 Georgetown with 5 to play in the first. The Bucknell Bison are visiting an Ivy League opponent in the Cornell Big Red. Cornell coming into this game without a win, currently up 3-0 in the first quarter. The Holy Cross Crusaders travel to play the Richmond Spiders. Crusaders playing in their second conference game, still the only win on Fordham's schedule. As for Richmond, they sit at 4-3, hoping to hit their bye week on a positive note. Kickoff set for 2 o'clock. Oregon State is playing their first game after the firing of their head coach Trent Bray as they try and defend home field with the matchup against one of the Patriot League's best in Lafayette. The Leopards coming off a 2-game winning streak, taking down both Fordham and Bucknell. Kickoff set for 10 p.m. in Corvallis, Oregon. And shifting towards the top 25 matchup, number 17 ranked Vanderbilt currently hosting number 10 ranked LSU and an SEC ranked matchup. The Commodores leading the Tigers by the score 14-10, under 2 to play in the first half. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Thank you very much, Anthony. You'll hear from him again at the half and at the end of the third quarter. But before we get going here in the second quarter, we'll send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew. Here is Isabella Terracini. Isabella?
Thanks, guys. As y'all mentioned, it's homecoming. The stadium and the stands are loud. Everybody's on their feet. It's sunny and it's a little bit cloudy, which means the cowbells are out too. It's going to be a great game. It's a perfect day for a tailgate and some football. Thank y'all. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Isabella. She'll be patrolling the sidelines for us all day long. And Brendan, you mentioned that Sammy McCorkle is a defensive-minded head coach. That is certainly showing after the first quarter in this one. We've seen a lot of first quarters with this Fordham team so far, with some scoring both for the Rams and for their opponents, but this feels like kind of a rarity this season, a scoreless first.
I was going to say the same thing, Tucker. I don't think we've seen a scoreless first quarter this season for the Fordham Rams. But yeah, Sammy McCorkle, a very defensive-minded guy, puts an emphasis on defense, on special teams, and the offense follows that. But a scoreless quarter, something that we haven't seen, I don't think, at all this season, a scoreless first quarter. And the Rams punting this one away. We'll see if there's any scoring that gets going in the second quarter.
Fordham would certainly like to get the scoring going themselves here on Rose Hill. In the homecoming game for the Fordham Rams, the teams switch field. Dartmouth now moving the ball from right to left. Fordham will move it from left to right in the second quarter. Will Hazlitt out there to punt it away for the Fordham Rams. The punt returner Ian Scott for Dartmouth is standing at the 32-yard line, ready to bring this one back for the Big Green.
And they're waiting just on a few people to leave the field. Some in-between quarter festivities down in the end zone, but as they walk off, we get ready to see this punt.
You got to have a little fun on homecoming, Brendan.
You have to.
Hazlitt's ready to punt this one away. It'll be his second punt of the day. Fordham with the ball on their own 24-yard line. Hazlitt takes the snap, boots it away. It's a great punt, spiraling down the field. It's received at the 30. Scott gets a block and gets up to the 40, but he's going to be wrapped up and brought down right there. So a solid punt from Will Hazlitt, about a 10-yard return by Ian Scott, and Dartmouth will set up for the second time this afternoon.
Great job there by Terrence Jones, a guy for this Fordham team on the special teams unit. Open field tackling is not easy by any means, but he's able to stand up Ian Scott and let his help come and make the tackle.
These Fordham Rams, offensively, they have certainly sputtered at times this season, but it really seems like all it takes is just one moment, one big play to kick everything into gear. And once the floodgates are open, this offense starts firing on all cylinders, Brendan.
Yeah, Tucker, you mentioned one big play to kind of get things going, and their win against Holy Cross, we saw that very first drive of the game. It took 2 plays to get the touchdown. It was a long pass and then a long rushing touchdown, and that seemed to kickstart the offense for the entire game. That's kind of the trend that we've seen throughout this season.
And even 2 weeks ago against Lafayette, in a game that was a loss, Fordham finally did get their offense rolling a little bit with a couple very long completions. Jack Freeberg was one of those long completions. I believe his was for around 50. No, his was a 40-yarder. That was his season high. Troy Worrell had the 50-yard reception against Lafayette 2 weeks ago. And it's little explosive play, or I should say big explosive plays like that, that sort of get Gunnar Smith into the rhythm of the passing game. But Fordham, when they can't get the run game going the way that they want to, it just makes it so much harder for the whole offense to function.
Yeah, Tucker, the best game they've had running the ball this season was their win against Holy Cross, and we saw it right out the gate with the first touchdown of the game was a 40-plus yard rush for Ricky Parks, and they were able to run the ball very well, very effectively that game, and just set the tone on offense. It's something we haven't seen a whole lot outside of that game, though.
Well, one guy we haven't mentioned yet, James Conway, who bears mentioning pretty much every week, Brendan, because of what he brings to this Fordham squad on defense. I mean, we've already talked about Alex Kemper, we talked about Claudie Robinson, we talked about Sam Burkle and what they bring, but James Conway is a game changer on the defensive side of the ball. He's 28 tackles shy coming into this game of the FCS record for tackles in a career of 550. He puts up video game numbers on defense every week.
Tucker, he'll go games, 18 tackles, 20 tackles, 16 tackles, numbers you wouldn't even think are possible in real life. Like you said, video game numbers you wouldn't expect anyone to do, but he is such a good player, the signal caller on this defense.
Conway will try to get into the action on defense here against Dartmouth. Dartmouth starts their drive from their own 39. Saunier back to pass on the first play. He has a man at the first down marker across the 50 and brought down at Fordham's 46-yard line, so across midfield already are the Big Green.
Yeah, just a simple hitch route there on the right. Saunier hits him very quickly, gets that ball out. Receiver turns up for the first down.
Nick Lemon with the 12-yard reception. 14:24 to go in the second quarter of a scoreless ball game here at Moglia Stadium. Saunier in the shotgun, running back offset to his left, 2 receivers on the right and 2 on the left. Fordham has 4 lined up on the defensive line. They bring 3. It's a handoff to Cruther around the right side, but he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. First man on the ball there for the Fordham Rams was Andrew Osmond.
Yeah, outside zone there, but fantastic job by the Fordham linebackers to fly outside and make that tackle.
Second down and 9 from the Fordham 45-yard line. 13:45 to go in the second quarter. Grayson Saunier is in the shotgun with an empty backfield. 2 receivers to his right and 3 on the left. Ball's on the right hash. Saunier standing on the top of the Block F logo at midfield. Drops back to pass. Looking middle. Throws middle. It's caught at the 29-yard line. Great catch for the 15-yard gain.
Yeah, fantastic catch, a diving effort there to grab that ball. If that ball goes past this receiver, Drew Minnick is right there to pick that off. So a fantastic catch there, moves the chains.
Grayson Obero with the catch there, Saulnier's favorite target this season, 319 yards receiving on 20 catches this year, and a longest reception of 71 yards. Saulnier in the shotgun again with 2 running backs in the backfield flanking him on either side. One running back moves out of the backfield. It's a fake. No, it is a handoff to Cruther. Fake on the keeper, but Fordham's D-line does well to plug up the middle.
Yeah, very strong effort there from the Fordham defensive line. They were not letting the Dartmouth offensive line push them back. They rallied to this ball in a very short gain on the run.
12:36 to go in the second quarter. Fordham making some defensive switches. Dartmouth has 2nd down and 9 from the Fordham 30 on the right hash. 2 receivers to the left, none to the right. Running back offset to the left of Grayson Saulnier. Saulnier puts a man in motion, now drops back to pass, throws immediately. It's a screen to the left side, across the 30 to the 25, and gets a couple of more yards. That time it was Lucas Reeves, and it brings up 3rd and short.
Chris Corbo, the tight end, motions out to the left side and is used as a lead blocker here. Great play design. They're able to make it a 3rd and short.
Ticking under 12 minutes to go in the second quarter. 3rd down and short as the Fordham fans getting loud here looking for another stop. Saulnier in the shotgun, running back all set to his left. 2 receivers on the right side. Takes the snap and rolls out to his right. He's pressured immediately. He has to throw it downfield, but that looks like it might be incomplete, and it is. The signal is incomplete, and that brings up 4th down and 3.
Saulnier wanted Chris Corbo in the flat. They ran a pick concept with the receiver outside trying to pick the linebacker in coverage, but a fantastic job by Osmond to stay with Corbo and not let him be wide open.
Now, Owen Zalk was good from 51 on the last play of the game last week against Yale for the Big Green. The ball is on the Fordham 24-yard line, but it seems like Dartmouth's offense is going to stay out on the field here. They've already gone for it on 4th down once in this game, and it was from very short from the goal line. They didn't get it. A few more yards that they have to gain in this situation, but Dartmouth is going to take a timeout.
Something to watch for in these situations is Saulnier and using his feet. What they love to do in these 4th and short or on the goal line is a quarterback power. They get him going to the outside. They get blockers in front of him and just let him find the hole and make a play.
The Big Green burned their first timeout of the quarter. It's a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it right here before what could be a 4th down attempt, could be a field goal attempt, but it's really odd, Brendan. It seems like teams really love to go for it on 4th down against these Fordham Rams.
It does seem that way, and based off the Fordham defense throughout the season, I can't say I blame them, especially in those first few games of the season, but this Fordham defense has been improving game by game and has looked so much stronger the past couple of weeks. We'll see what they end up deciding here during this timeout.
More decisions to be made for McCorkle, who you'd think, being the defensive-minded coach that he is, wouldn't take as many risks on the offensive side of the football, would lean towards taking the points. I can see Zalk on the opposite sideline in the Dartmouth huddle right now, sort of warming the leg up a little bit, so it seems like the Big Green might be kicking this one away, unless that's a little deception from Dartmouth over there.
It very well could be either. You had what looked like the field goal team went back to the sideline, and now they just came back out to the huddle on the field. Very interesting call here from McCorkle, whether he goes for it or kicks it. A lot of trickeration, it seems.
Yeah, a little bit of fun and games, a little gamesmanship, should say, from Dartmouth. And he's still warming that leg up on the opposite sideline. Really, it looks like if he's not kicking it, they are really trying to get into Joe Conlon's head right now.
Yeah, they are, because he is right there front and center in the huddle, even further onto the field than every other player warming that leg up.
You got a couple whistles to bring teams back out. And here they come. So, looks like the kicking unit for Dartmouth, and it is. So, they go with Owen Zalk, the hero from last week against Yale. They're going to try and break the ice on this scoreboard with 11:38 to go in the second quarter. Cowbells are out for the Ram faithful. The snap and the kick is up, and it is good, and that would have been good from maybe 60, Brendan. That had plenty of leg. Dartmouth takes the 3-0 lead with 11:34 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Tucker, that one was from 42, but the way it crossed those goalposts, where it went in, it was almost at the top where kind of those flags hang down from the top to signify wind. It was at that level. That definitely had a lot of leg behind it.
Yeah, easily more than halfway up the goalposts. And both teams will come on back out for the kickoff immediately after the field goal. And so the scoring drought from the first quarter finally broken here, less than 5 minutes into the second. But it's a field goal for Dartmouth, huge for this Fordham defense to get another stop and force the field goal, not allowing Dartmouth to find the end zone.
Yeah, this Fordham defense, bend don't break. They'll let Dartmouth drive down the field, but then you force Dartmouth to either settle for 3 or turn the ball over on downs like they did on their first drive.
Kickoff specialist for Dartmouth, Matisse Weaver, is out there to kick this one away. Back to return is Troy Worrell. Took over the duties on the kick return after Johan Lee Lewis became more of a running back with the Jamel James injury. It's received at the 10, now to the 20, cuts upfield to the 25. There's a flag behind the play. But nice work by Troy Worrell to get up to the Fordham 26. We'll see what the flag is. It may have been a face mask indicated.
Holding on Fordham. That flag came out. It came flying towards a group of Fordham guys blocking Dartmouth guys. A couple of them were on the ground. That's going to set them back.
Special teams mistakes are quite costly, as Fordham looks like they were going to begin the drive at the 22, but they will now back them up to their own 12. And Brendan, that's a big difference being outside or inside of your own 20 to start a drive.
Yeah, it is. You tend to be more conservative with your play calling inside that 20. You don't want to turn the ball over at all.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the right, ball on the left hash on the Fordham 12. 1 wide receiver to his left. Smith takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. It's Ricky Parks, but he gets nothing. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. This Dartmouth defense letting nothing go in the run game.
Yeah, this Dartmouth defense is kind of headlined by their linebacking unit, and that time making a big play stopping that run.
Quick setup for Fordham on 2nd down and 10, ticking under 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Running back to the right, 2 receivers on the right. Rolls out, now fires over the middle. He has a man. Believe that's Noden Tracy up to the 30-yard line. Almost a 20-yard gain there. And a first down for Fordham.
Great job by Gunnar Smith going through his reads. Freeberg covered, Jabril Carter coverage. So he goes back inside on the sprint out and finds Tracy going across the field.
Parks still in, offset to the right of Gunnar Smith, still in the shotgun. Wide receiver to the left with 2 wide receivers on the right. Jack Freeberg in motion from right to left. Ball on the Fordham 31, first down and 10, 10-20 to go in the second. Smith takes the snap, looks to pass, fires over the middle, but it's through the hands of Jabril Carter. That was a dangerous ball. Once it left Carter's hands, could have been intercepted, but it falls incomplete.
Yeah, balls that are popped up into the air are the last thing an offense wants to see. At that point, this defense is scrambling. The offense is scrambling, just hoping that ball hits the ground.
2nd down and 10 from their own 31. Clock stopped at 10:18. Smith in the shotgun, now looks to pass, fires to the right, has Jabril Carter this time for a medium gain. Call it 7 yards, brings up 3rd down and short.
That just shows how much his coaching staff trusts Jabril Carter. After the drop, they go right back to him on the hitch route to make it 3rd and short.
Smith going to set up in the shotgun again. This time it's Johan Lee Lewis in the backfield. Offset to his left. Freeberg, one of 2 receivers on the left. Jabril Carter in motion now from right to left. No receivers on the right side now. Smith takes the snap, hands it off to Lewis up the middle. And it looks like he almost got that first down. He got shoved backwards by the Dartmouth tacklers, but they are going to move the chains.
Yeah, forward progress right there. They're going to give him that first down. Great run there by Lee Lewis to just power through and pick it up.
Smith still in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, ball near the right hash. Lewis still in there at running back. He's to Gunnar Smith's left. Drops back to pass and fires over the middle. It was a screen and across the 45 down to the 40. A nifty little play to John Morris, the freshman tight end for the Rams. And Fordham is across midfield.
Tucker, I love this play call. Johan Lee Lewis out to the left. It looks like screen to him, and then Gunnar comes right back to the middle and throws the tight end screen.
Morris in motion now, out to the left side. He's one of 3 receivers on the left. Jabril Carter, the lone receiver on the right. It's going to be a handoff up the middle to Lewis. Lewis bouncing and gets by a tackler to the 35, across it to the 34. It brings up 2nd and 4.
Something we've seen so good from Gunnar Smith all season is his ability to read the defense on these read options. That time, defensive end stays and waits for Gunnar to keep it, so he just hands it off.
Fordham offense rolling here. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, running back to the right of Smith. It's a handoff to Lewis again. He goes up the middle again, trying to find those yards, and it looks like they're going to give him the first down. So another nice little gain from Lewis. There's a Fordham Ram a little bit slow to get up on the left side of the offensive line, but nonetheless, first down and 10 from the Dartmouth 31.
Yeah, Fordham putting together a drive here without those chunk plays like we mentioned before, Tucker. This one just bit by bit, piece by piece, picking up yards every play.
Fordham going to stick with Johan Lee Lewis in the backfield. Offset to the right of Gunnar Smith. 1 receiver on the right and 2 on the left. The lone receiver on the right is Jabril Carter. Lewis motions to the left of Gunnar Smith. And this time it's a keeper for Gunnar Smith. Great block by Freeberg as he gets around, but then stumbles to the ground before the first down marker. Does Gunnar Smith. A lot of green space. Looked like he could have gotten a bit more than the first down, but instead it brings up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, a little more green space in front of him, but it looks like the turf monster got him there on that one, Tucker.
Turf monster indeed. Gunnar Smith still trying to make plays with his legs. 2nd and very short for these Rams. 7:13 to go in the second. Handoff up the middle, but stopped in the backfield. Great play by Dartmouth on Jamel James.
Dartmouth finally able to get one of these Fordham running backs in the backfield on this play. What was a 2nd and very short becomes a 3rd and manageable.
3rd down and about 3. Maybe 4. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Jamel James to his right. 2 receivers on the right and 1 on the left, but now he's in motion. Fake the handoff to Jamel James. Rolls out to his right. Fires over the middle, and he has a man at the 15-yard line. That's Jaden Allen. Fordham with another first down from the Dartmouth 15.
Identical play from earlier in the drive. Play action rollout for Gunnar Smith. He goes through his progressions, works back inside to find Jaden Allen for the first.
6:23 to go here in the second quarter. Fordham trying to take the lead on this drive. Dartmouth leads 3-0. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Jamel James to his right. 2 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. It's a handoff to Jamel James, who bounces to the left. He has some room, but there's a flag in the backfield. He gets up near the first down marker, about 2 yards short, but this one might be coming back, Brendan.
Yeah, Cooper LaFon, the left tackle here. It looks like they might be getting either him or someone else on that left side for a hold.
Number 72. 10-yard penalty.
It was Cooper LaFon.
Yeah, they nab LaFon for the hold there that got Jamel James free. Clock stops at 6:06 with the penalty. Fordham will be backed up quite a bit here. It's going to be first down and 20. Line to gain is the 5 of Dartmouth. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Running back offset to the right for Gunnar Smith, and now he motions Jamel James out of the backfield. He throws it to the motion man. He's got a couple of blockers, cuts it upfield to the 20, and he's brought down at the 19. So gets a handful of those yards back from the penalty.
Few plays ago, they ran something similar. Johan Lee Lewis motions out, fake that throw over there. This time, Jamel James, the motion man there, and they actually do give him the ball. Let him just go make a play with the ball in his hands.
It's still Jamel James offset to the left of Gunnar Smith. 2 receivers to the right. Now Jamel James moves to the right of Smith. It's a fake handoff with a rollout to the right for Smith. He fires over the middle, but it's incomplete at the feet of his intended target. And that brings up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith just getting rid of that ball there. He's got 2 guys in his face. He doesn't want to make a mistake. No errant throws down in this part of the field. Just tosses that one to the feet of his receiver.
3rd down and call it 14. Fordham in field goal range, but looking to do more than just tie. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on both sides with the ball on the left hash. He fires quickly to the left side after the snap and gets back to the original line of scrimmage +2 or 3. But that's going to bring up 4th down, and it looks like the field goal unit's going to come on with Bennett Henderson.
Yeah, it looked like that play just trying to see, can you catch this ball and go make a play? If you can't, we'll settle for the field goal. Obviously, no play was made. Fordham's going to settle for 3.
Fordham with the ball placed on the Dartmouth 12-yard line. Should be a chip shot here for Bennett Henderson. He's 10 for 12 on the season for field goals. The snap, the kick, and it's good. Bennett Henderson ties the ball game at 3. It's the Fordham Rams 3 and the Dartmouth Big Green 3 with 4:42 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, 29-yard field goal there. It's a chip shot for Bennett Henderson. He's done it so many times this season. He's been so good for this Fordham Rams team. That one he even put over the net that they have behind the goalpost. That one almost into the street.
And with that, we will take our first true break of the day. Fordham 3, Dartmouth 3, 4:42 to go in the second quarter. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Joe Henry, your 2025 New York Jets beat reporters.
Follow along with us every Sunday as we cover and analyze all things JETS.
With a new quarterback at the helm, can Aaron Glenn right the ship and cause chaos in the AFC East?
Stay updated every week with game updates and recaps from @Brendan_Shorey
and @JoeHenry_4 on X.
WFUV, your home for Jets football.
And we welcome you back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field here on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. Isabella Terracini is the 3rd member of our on-site crew. We currently have a 3-3 ball game between the Fordham Rams and the Dartmouth Big Green on Fordham's homecoming with 4:42 to go in the second quarter. And Brendan, that last drive for the Fordham Rams was their best of the day. Very efficient moving the ball down the field with only a couple of mistakes here and there with the penalties. Couldn't quite get it into the end zone, but very, very important that Fordham got some points on the board to retie this game.
Yeah, great drive by Fordham. They got all the way down, but then that penalty, that holding penalty at the end of the drive, I mean, those are drive killers, man. It sets you back another 10 yards, and they were able to pick up a majority of those 10 yards plus the original 10. They end up having to settle for 3, but very promising to see that drive from Fordham.
The kickoff man for Fordham, Bennett Henderson, is out after knocking one through for 3. His kickoff is away, and it's going to be received by Luke Reeves, but it bounces in the end zone for a touchback. Ball will come out to the 20.
That one was almost scary for Dartmouth. Reeves called for a fair catch, but then it looked like he thought that ball was going to bounce through the end zone. He let it bounce. It bounced on the 1-yard line, and it barely rolled into the end zone. If that one just stays there on the 1-yard line, that is a live ball.
Yeah, and plenty of Fordham kickoff team players were down there near the goal line when that ball finally came to rest in the end zone. Could have been a big play for Fordham. Disaster for Dartmouth, but ball comes out to the 25 for the Big Green. 4:42 to go here in the second. Saunier in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff and now throws to his right. Receiver has a couple of blockers. He lunges across the 30-yard line to get an extra couple of yards. He gets to the Dartmouth 31.
Yeah, they love getting Corbo the ball as he's going out into the flat. He's so good making plays after he has the ball in his hands, especially for his size.
Corbo, one of 2 Dartmouth receivers who've caught a touchdown this season. Saunier in the backfield again, or Saunier in the shotgun, running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Hands it off to DJ Cruther, and he is smothered in the backfield. Brought down at Dartmouth's 28. It's a loss of 2.
This Fordham defense led by James Conway there, one of the first guys there, blow this play up and swallow him in the backfield.
Now Claudie Robinson and Sam Burkle both come off the field here. Fordham bringing a couple of extra D-backs out in the 3rd and long situation. 3rd and about 6. Crowd raising their volume here. Fordham showing a lot of pressure. Grayson Saunier looking to his sideline for a call here. 2 receivers on the left, 2 on the right. Running back is DJ Cruther. He sets up even to the left of Saunier. Fordham brings 4. Saunier pressured. He's flushed out. Running across the 25 and now throws complete at the 35-yard line for the first down and more. Brought down at the 41.
Fordham walked up both linebackers, Conway and Osman, and they both ended up dropping back into coverage. But what it did, it left a free rusher on the left side that Cruther had to pick up in order for Saunier to not get hit immediately.
First down and 10 now for the Dartmouth Big Green. Clock moving at 2:49 to go in the first half. Ball in their own 41 on the right hash. 3 receivers on the left and 2 on the right. Empty backfield for Grayson Saunier. Saunier drops back to pass, throws it over the middle for a quick slant across the 45 and trying to get to the 50, but brought down at the 49-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 1.
Grayson O'Bara, the guy on the catch there on the slant route, actually makes James Conway miss with a little juke move.
More like 2 yards as the Big Green go tempo. 2 receivers to the left, shotgun snap, taken and handed off to DJ Cruther up the middle. He's brought down after getting to the 40, but that Fordham tackler maybe saved a touchdown that time.
Nate Lindsey-Gill was the guy who finally brought Cruther down, but Cruther dragged Lindsey-Gill for a few extra yards at the end of that play.
2-minute timeout.
And as you heard just there, it's the 2-minute timeout. We'll step away for just a moment in a 3-3 ball game between the Fordham Rams and the Dartmouth Big Green on Fordham's homecoming. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Carino.
I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Tucker Austin.
Your Fordham Football broadcasters for the 2025 season.
Join us every Saturday on 90.7 FM and on WFUV Sports YouTube page for live radio broadcasts of every Fordham football game as the Rams continue their quest to their first Patriot League title since 2014.
With a new look offense and veteran leaders on defense, you won't want to miss this. Fordham Football, every weekend on WFUV Sports.
Hello everyone, I'm Trey Rodriguez, calling you to tune in to WFUV Sports One-on-One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. We're live every Saturday on YouTube from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later at night on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We cover the latest news in the sports world with our wide range of beat reporters, as well as exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes. We'll see you next Saturday on One-on-One.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Dartmouth set up and ready to go. 1st and 10 from the Fordham 40. Shotgun snap for Saunier, hands it off to Cruther, and he is brought down in the backfield. Couple of Fordham defenders on the play. That time, John Scott was one of the first ones there.
Drew Minnick, Tucker coming off the edge. The safety, the sophomore safety, making a big play there with John Scott.
1:40 to go in the first half. 3 points for the Fordham Rams, 3 points for the Dartmouth Big Green. Saunier in the shotgun. Cruther offset to his right. 2 receivers to his right and 1 to his left. Saunier fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right. He's pressured, has to dump it off at the line of scrimmage, and he's brought down, tackled forward for a gain of about 2. They'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Great job by Andrew Osmond. Dartmouth's running a flood concept here to the right. That means one guy in the flat and one guy on a corner route just over that linebacker. Osmond sits back, dares Saunier to throw the under to Corbo, and as soon as he does, he gets up and rallies and tackles.
And there's a timeout on the field. Couldn't quite hear the announcement, but I believe the timeout was likely taken by Dartmouth trying to save time. No, it was taken by Fordham. So the Rams call a timeout with a 3rd and 8 coming up for Dartmouth's offense. Joe Conlon could be looking to get this ball back, maybe make something happen on Fordham's last drive before the half.
Yeah, 3rd and long here for Dartmouth. Joe Conlon thinks maybe we can get this ball back here, go have some time to drive down the field, go put some more points on the board.
Dartmouth getting the ball to start the second half. So Fordham maybe trying to get some points on the board to try and negate a double dip. Big 3rd down here on 3rd and 8 from the Fordham 38-yard line. Saunier in the backfield, 2 receivers on the left and now 2 on the right after a motion. Drops back to pass, looking middle, flushed out, but he's going to go for it on his feet. He's got the 1st down and more to the 25 and the 20, tries to run through a man as he gets an extra couple of yards. But Dartmouth into the red zone at the Fordham 18 with 1:12 to go.
Yeah, Tucker, we mentioned it earlier. Saunier's so good with his feet. He finds an opening in that pocket, takes it, and scrambles for the big play on the 1st down.
A really smart scrambler, too. Waits as long as he possibly can in the pocket to see if anything's there before he decides to go on his own. In the shotgun again with a running back offset to his left. 1 receiver on the left, 1 on the right. He throws the fade to the left corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete, just off the outstretched hand of his intended target. It was James Elliott, the sophomore wideout, and he got a paw on it, Brendan, but then it hit the turf. He couldn't bring it in.
He did. It was so close. Justin Johnson, the guy in coverage there, such a tough job because you are completely isolated. It is one-on-one on the outside, but he does a good job sticking with the receiver there.
2nd and 10.
Fordham defense has been making plenty of solid plays in this game. It's the reason why Dartmouth only has 3 points on the board, but they're threatening here late in the first half. 55 seconds on the clock in the second quarter, and it's stopped. Saunier takes shotgun snap, looks to his right, dumps off a little screen at the line of scrimmage, and he's hit immediately, but then gets about 3 extra yards and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, just another one of these plays. Just run Corbo out to the flat. Saunier get him the ball quickly. See if he can turn up field. This time tackled pretty quickly by Nate Lindsey-Gill.
Another 3rd down here. Dartmouth's been using all 3. Really, they've been using all 4 downs today. And I have to imagine if they can get it within 3 yards of the 1st down with some time and a couple timeouts, they might go for it. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Running back to the right of Grayson Saunier is offset. He sends a man in motion from the right to the left. Now drops back to pass. Throws to the right, and it's batted out of the air, incomplete. Excellent play that time by T.J. Jones II. And that brings up 4th down and 7.
Fordham walked up both linebackers again this time. This time, they actually came for the quarterback. Saunier has to get this ball out quickly. He throws it in fantastic coverage on the back end.
Excellent reach by Jones to get his big paw out and slap that ball down to the turf. And out comes Owen Zalk for the field goal with the ball on the Fordham 15.
Owen Zalk, 33-yard field goal.
The snap is good. The kick is up. And the kick is very good once again for Owen Zalk. 2 for 2 on the afternoon, and gives the Big Green a 6-3 lead with 40 seconds to go in the first half.
33-yarder there, Tucker. Practically a chip shot for him. We know he has a big leg. This time just puts it right through the uprights.
And this Dartmouth team has so much confidence in their kicker. No matter if he makes or misses, they always run him out there the next time to kick with all the confidence in the world. They just put so much positive energy into Zalk, and it allows him to perform so well. Powered into that 51-yard walk-off field goal last week against Yale, and given him the energy to score all of Dartmouth's points in this first half.
Well, Tucker, and it comes back to coaching, too. McCorkle has spent time being a special teams coach at a few different schools. He's a big special teamer back in college. He knows who he has. He trusts his guys on the special teams unit, Zalk being one of those.
And the kickoff unit is ready for Dartmouth. Matisse Weaver to kick it away. Back to return for the Rams is Troy Worrell. And joining him back there is Vinny Rugai. Kickoff is away. It's a booming kick. Going to land in the end zone for a touchback. Fordham will get the ball with 2 timeouts and 40 seconds to work with from their own 25. Brendan, what's the approach here for Joe Conlon in terms of play calling to get Fordham down the field?
This first play should be something to get the clock going, whether that's a run, whether that's a screen pass. You want something to get this clock going because you don't want to give Dartmouth the ball back. 40 seconds, a lot of time, especially when the clock stops for a few seconds each first down.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun again. 2 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Ball on the right hash at the Fordham 25. Drops back to pass, throws it immediately. And that was closed down by the D-back. Excellent play there. Incomplete pass, clock stopped at 35.
Patrick Campbell, the guy there in coverage, looked like he might have gotten Jabril Carter a little bit early. Fordham trying to just get a quick completion, get that clock going, but it's going to fall incomplete there.
2nd and 10.
Smith in the shotgun again. 2 wide receivers on both sides. Ball on the right hash. Running back is Johan Lee Lewis, who goes out of the backfield to the left. Throws it to Jack Freeberg on the right side. It was a little wide receiver screen. He's tackled at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And Dartmouth takes a timeout before the 3rd and 10. With 27 seconds on the clock, Dartmouth gets one more stop. And if they can stop the clock, they might get this ball back.
Yeah, and I'd imagine they get it back with 20-ish seconds on the clock. And, I mean, with 20 seconds, you're hoping you can either get a good punt return or one play and out to the sideline, run the kicker run real quick. Definitely a chance for Dartmouth if they get this back.
Scoreboard on the field shows that Fordham took a timeout, but the referees indicated that Dartmouth was the side taking the timeout, so I'm sure they'll remedy that.
And I can see head coach
in a moment.
Sammy McCorkle going crazy over on that sideline. He's standing right by the ref. Timeout, timeout, timeout.
They put 30 seconds on the clock now. So add 3. And Fordham with a 3rd down and 10 from their own 25. 3 receivers on the left and 1 on the right, all the way near the sideline. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back to his left. Hands it off up the middle with a little bit of space. He gets about 4 to the Fordham 29. It was Ricky Parks that time. And another timeout here, I believe. Dartmouth takes what should be their last timeout.
Very conservative play call there from Coach Conlon. Just running the ball up the middle, I guess, just forcing Dartmouth to use their last timeout, and you're okay punting it back in a 3-point game. You think your defense can go out and get a stop on this Dartmouth offense.
And it was, Brendan. I knew I was right. They put the second timeout for Fordham back on the board. Dartmouth now out of timeouts with 26 seconds on the clock, but after the medium gain on 3rd down and long, Fordham is going to have to punt this one away. Will Haslett is out there. And Ian Scott returns to the field to do the returning duties.
Will Haslett in out formation for the Rams.
even if this ball is fair caught, you expect at least 6 seconds to run off the clock here.
Sean Williams actually comes out instead of Ian Scott to return it. The punt is away. It lands at the 38 and bounces favorably for the Rams. Rolls to the 30. It hits a Dartmouth player. It's recovered by the Fordham Rams. Fordham's going to have the ball at the Dartmouth 29 with 15 seconds to go. There's still no signal on the field yet, though. Fordham sideline really thinks they have the football. The referees are talking it over right now. And there were 3 Fordham hats that dove on the football immediately after. There was a gunner for Dartmouth who was running downfield, didn't see where the ball was.
Yeah, Tucker, I don't know if he was pushed into it or just didn't see it. But
it seemed like it just hit him.
Right off the back of his feet. And Fordham saw this, and they jumped right on it.
Joe Conlon is talking to the side judge, A.J. Marshall. We'll wait on Todd Boyd's decision, the head referee.
And Dartmouth has their defense out on the field, it looks like. Looks like they
Dartmouth seemingly conceding the fact that that is a recovery by the Rams. We'll get the call here.
On the field, as the ball was touched by the receivers and then recovered by the kicking team. First down, Fordham.
And the call on the field is confirmed. It is a turnover, effectively.
First and 10.
One of the weirder ones that you'll see, Brendan. A receiving team turnover and a excellent special teams play. A great heads-up play by this Fordham special teams unit to jump on that football.
And Tucker, that is a massive flip there. Fordham has this ball in Bennett Henderson's field goal range at that kind of border of his field goal range. 15 seconds on the clock. You have 2 timeouts.
Touched by the receivers, recovered by the kicking team. The previous plays under further review.
And they're going to take another look at it as, of course they would, under 2 minutes to go. And a big play that they had to talk about it for a good 30 seconds on the field after it happened. So it doesn't surprise me at all that they're going to take a second look at this one. This is a momentum-swinging play, Brendan. We just went from Dartmouth getting the ball back with a chance to maybe quickly move it down the field and add another 3 before they get the ball back at the start of the second half. Now, Fordham knocking on the door of either tying this game or taking the lead with 15 seconds to go in the half.
Yeah, Tucker, huge momentum swing. A 3-point swing here, 6-point swing as the ruling is upheld. Will be Fordham ball.
One of the quickest reviews that I've ever seen or been a part of. Fordham fans loved the speed on that one.
That's the quickest one I've seen, too.
Little Selly from Fordham, or from WFUV's own Dom Sansone there on the sideline, pointing both hands toward the end zone. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, looking to try and add some points for Fordham before the end of the half. Takes the snap, looks over the middle, he has a man across the 10 and at the 5. He's wrapped up, and he's brought down at the 5-yard line. Fordham has a couple of timeouts. They'll have to burn 1 to stop the clock. The clock stops at 8. It's first down and goal from the 5. Big play for the Fordham Rams there.
That was a gigantic play from Gunnar Smith there. He was so confident, so poised in that pocket, stood in there and delivered a beautiful ball down the field. First and goal from the 5, Tucker. 8 seconds left. You have time to take a shot at the end zone here.
Jabril Carter on the catch that time, getting a little bit more involved. That's his second catch of the afternoon after he didn't record any stats 2 weeks ago against Lafayette. Carter is one of the more talented receivers in this wide receiver room for the Fordham Rams, so it was shocking to not see him get the ball 2 weeks ago, but he's getting the ball in some really high leverage spots in this game.
He is, and that is a huge play there. Fordham is knocking on the door.
From thinking about 3 to now thinking about 6 are the Fordham Rams. 8 seconds to go in the half. Ball on the Dartmouth 5. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. He throws a fade to the left side. Goes up with 1 hand, does the intended target, Noden Tracy. But it falls incomplete with 3 seconds to go. And Bennett Henderson will make his way out for the field goal attempt.
Noden Tracy in isolation on the left side of the field. Gunnar Smith just wants to give him a chance. Throw this one towards the back pylon off of Noden Tracy's left hand, it looked like one hand, but it's going to fall incomplete. Fordham is very willing to settle here.
What a turnaround if Bennett Henderson can knock this one through. Snap good, kick up, and very good. Bennett Henderson, 2 for 2 on the day. He ties the game at 6 as time expires in the first half. And boy, Brendan, Fordham goes from looking down the barrel of possibly a 2-score deficit if Dartmouth could come out of the second half and score. Now we're all knotted up once again going to the break.
And you have the momentum too, so when your defense takes the field in the second half against this Dartmouth offense, they have the momentum behind them, where if Fordham's able to force a stop in that first possession, they are going to have a lot of momentum coming to their next offensive drive.
Already carrying plenty of momentum after the special teams turnover that turned into 3 points. Fordham doing a good job of turning that mistake from Dartmouth into an advantage for the Rams. Gunnar Smith went 11 for 18 for 112 yards in that first half. On the ground, Ricky Parks was the lead rusher for the Fordham Rams. He picked up 21 yards on 7 attempts. And with a 6-6 ball game between the Fordham Rams and the Dartmouth Big Green on Fordham's homecoming, we send it back to the Rose Hill studio for the one-on-one halftime report with Chris Carino and Anthony Smith. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, Tucker. Welcome back into the Rose Hill Studios, 6-6, all knotted up at Moglia Stadium between Dartmouth and Fordham. Before we get to all that, we're going to send it to another one-on-one scoreboard update with Anthony Smith. Take it over, Anthony.
Thanks. Thanks, Chris. Let's give you some more Patriot League updates. Georgetown and Colgate all tied up at 7 apiece. Still 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. Cornell just took the lead over Bucknell with a touchdown. They missed the extra point, but the Big Red have retaken the lead 9-7 nearing the end of the first half. And the Crusaders and the Spiders are underway in Richmond, Virginia. The Spiders jump out to an early 7-0 lead just a couple minutes into the first quarter. Now let's move on to some top 25 action. Last night, number 2 ranked Miami were handed their first loss of the season by an unranked Louisville team. The Hurricanes' late game comeback fell short as Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions, including one on a possible game-winning drive. Cardinals won 24-21, coming up with a big Friday night upset. A top-ranked SEC matchup is close to kickoff as number 4 ranked Ole Miss tries to keep their undefeated season alive, playing number 9 Georgia. It's a battle of Saban's disciples, Lane and Kirby. Game time set for 3:30 p.m. And stay glued to the couch as number 11 ranked Tennessee takes the trip tonight to Tuscaloosa. They play number 6 ranked Alabama. The Crimson Tide are led by Heisman candidate Ty Simpson, who is having an incredible year. This SEC contest is set for a 7:30 start time. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it. That was a pretty interesting way to end the half there for the Rams. Rams get this game tied up. As Tucker said, this could have been a 2-score deficit for the Rams. Instead, they tie it up after a very miscellaneous play on a Will Haslett kick right at the end of halftime. And just in general, Anthony, talking about toward the end of this half, from a confidence perspective and a mentality perspective, this Fordham team really showing a lot in the second quarter.
Yeah, this Fordham defense and special teams has really stepped up. For this Fordham team overall, it would be interesting to see how they carry that momentum into the second half and if it can get their offense going to get more than just 3 points on the board.
We're going to take you through the highlights of that first half. It all started on Dartmouth's first drive. Fordham has a 3-and-out on their first offensive drive. They go on the defensive side. Dartmouth goes all the way down the field. They go 86 yards, 15 plays, and it ends on the goal line with a big Fordham 4th down stop.
Cruther is in, offset to the left. Saunier keeps. He dives, but he's short. Called down at the 1-yard line. And Fordham comes up with a huge 4th down stop on Dartmouth's opening drive.
Yeah. Dartmouth then got the ball back a little while later, and they were the first ones on the scoreboard. It was their kicker, Owen Zelk, making it 3-0.
The snap and the kick is up. And it is good, and that would have been good from maybe 60, Brendan. That had plenty of leg.
And then again, after this, Fordham matching this scoring with a score of their own. Bennett Henderson goes up and through the uprights and makes this 3-3.
Henderson, he's 10 for 12 on the season for field goals. The snap, the kick, and it's good. Bennett Henderson ties the ball game at 3. It's the Fordham Rams 3 and the Dartmouth Big Green 3 with 4:42 to go in the second quarter.
And then Owen Zelk was busy once again. He had another field goal for Dartmouth, and he put them in the lead 6-3 in the second quarter. And then again, as we talked about before, they go up 6-3, and then they almost have a chance to score again, Anthony. And instead of that, Fordham gets the stop, and well, they don't get a stop. They end up getting defensively a stop, and then offensively they come out 3 and out, leads to a punt, and on the punt they get up the field in about as miscellaneous of a way as you could possibly get up the field. Off a gunner for Dartmouth, and Fordham jumps on it. What a play from Fordham.
33-yard field goal.
The snap is good, the kick is up, and the kick is very good once again for Owen Zalk. 2 for 2 on the afternoon and gives the Big Green a 6-3 lead.
That made it 6-3. That was the lead I was just talking about. And then Fordham, they equalized in about, as I just said, the most miscellaneous way possible. Will Hazlitt, the All-Patriot League punter, kicks it up the field, goes off a gunner for Dartmouth, and Fordham picks it up. The ultimate opportunist, the Rams, and that leads to another field goal from Bennett Henderson. Bennett Henderson has been good all season, has been dependable all season, and when you get in field goal range like that, you have to capitalize, especially at the end of the half when they're running out of time.
Yeah, Chris, it's good to have a reliable kicker in scenarios like this when you're trying to tie the game late at the end of the half, and it's really just a kicking battle between Dartmouth and Fordham today, and they just are relying a lot on the kickers today, and just their defense is stepping up today.
Yeah, the defense is stepping up. As you said, that was the big story in the first half. They get the 4th down stop in the first quarter. They've been holding them to field goals every drive, similarly to Dartmouth. Neither of these defenses has allowed a touchdown yet. When this defense is playing well, Anthony, it feels like this team is just at a whole different level.
Yeah, the defense is playing really well, and it just needs to connect now to the offense. Can the offense get going and respond to the defense playing so well and trying to give them momentum going into the second half, getting more than 3 points, trying to see if they can get 6 on the board.
Yeah, trying to get 6 on the board. One of the big things offensively that would help this Ram team, get 6 on the board is the run game. When the run game is established, this Fordham team can do a whole lot. They can pass, they can run. It just opens up the entire offense. They've done it similarly today. 17 rushes between Park, Smith, Lewis, and James. It's been by committee in the rushing room, and in general, none of them have a ton of yards, but it seems like they're controlling things on the ground a lot better than they did a few weeks ago before the bye week.
Yeah, when this run game gets going for this Fordham offense, this offense really starts to click as a whole. I saw it when we played Holy Cross a couple weeks back, and that win, when the run game was strong, they ended up having one of their best offensive performances of the season. And another thing with this Fordham offense is really just where they get the ball to start off. They got on their first 2 drive, their second and their third drive were set up at their 1-yard line and then inside their own 20. On that third drive from inside their own 20, we're able to take it down and kick a field goal, which was a great offensive drive. And then you saw at the end of the first half, they get set up at the Dartmouth 30-yard line.
Yeah, field position could be an afterthought in a lot of conversations about games and how games go. This Fordham team, to your point, had a really strong drive there, one of their strongest drives of the season, led by Gunnar Smith. Gunnar Smith, 11 for 18 in this game, 112 yards, 113 passer rating so far. It seems like he's just getting better and better, and especially when the field position maybe isn't in your favor, you need a guy that can be that general going down the field and lead your squad. He's done that with his legs and with his arm.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith really playing a really good complete game right now, doing it both through the air and on the ground, and is really just, you said it, just being the general for this Fordham team on offense, driving down the field and doesn't care about the field possession, and just is getting points on the board for Fordham when they need it most.
Yeah, a combined 14 tackles from Osmond and Conway as well. That linebacker trio of Fordham really doing a good job, and especially we've talked in past couple weeks about the sense of urgency this defense has around the goal line. They do some of their best work around the goal line. It seems the linebackers, especially Osmond and Conway, they have that mentality the whole way down the field, not just when it gets really desperate.
Yeah, they're really leading this defense, kind of how Gunnar Smith is leading this offense, commanding the defense to make the big stops, make the big plays, and hold Dartmouth to 6 points here when they've had great opportunities inside the red zone.
Yeah, and the opportunities, they haven't been far in between. They've had a lot of opportunities. Both these offenses have had a lot of opportunities. I want to kind of shift our mindsets into the second half. Obviously, as we've talked about, no touchdowns for either offense. Talking specifically about Fordham, as you said, it's been semi-effective, the offense, getting down the field. How do they punch it in? What's the thing that puts them over the edge and gets them in the end zone?
I think a big thing is just trying to take big shots down the field. I mean, you got Gunnar Smith going. He's been good in the passing game, good on the run game. Maybe try and take a shot down the field. See if you catch this Dartmouth defense off guard and lead you to another big drive and possibly get one in the end zone. It's all about, for me in this second half, who can get in the end zone first and keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and that momentum was felt toward the end of the first half. We talked about it. Tucker brought it up at the end of the half. This Fordham team was looking down the barrel of a 2-score deficit going into the half. It's something that they've experienced a couple times this season, whether it's coming into the half or coming right out of the half. They tend to have one, whether it's a muff kick or a turnover. It tends to be something momentum-wise that completely changes their trajectory. It seems like they almost did that with the punt, the way they were able to receive that muff punt and score with the field goal at the end of the half. It seems like maybe that fortune that they've been on the negative side of is now kind of coming up the other way for them.
This is a big momentum shifter. We haven't really seen these momentum shifts go Fordham's way, and it really just puts them in a good position in the second half, feeling good about themselves. And for Dartmouth, it's something that they're going to be thinking about at night if they don't win this game, is just that punt right there, setting up Fordham when you had the chance to take a 2-score lead. But another thing I want to add, Dartmouth coming off scoring their 17 points last week in the fourth quarter in a 17-16 win over Yale. So it's interesting to see. Maybe do they bring that back in the second half and really lock in the second half?
And I think a lot wasn't clicking for this Dartmouth team. You could just see it throughout that first half. There wasn't a ton of control on the ground. Obviously, their lead back had 11 touches for 46 yards. That was decent, and that's a big volume as well. And their receiving core, a decent job as well. Only 10 completions for their offense in that first half. That has to go up if you want to get down the field and get down the field productively. It's bizarre because I think both these offenses are doing things that should have them in the end zone, but neither is getting in the end zone. Anthony, I almost think it's more of a testament to these defenses and how they're playing. Even the secondary of Fordham that I know has had their struggles, especially 2 weeks ago. They really had their struggles against Lafayette. But in this game, between Lindsey Gill, between TJ Jones, it seems that this whole defense, but specifically that secondary of Fordham, is taking more responsibility this week and doing a good job with it.
Yeah, absolutely. This defense as a whole has been really good. You obviously mentioned the secondary being able to lock down their Dartmouth's receivers and not allowing the big play through the air, as well with the linebackers. I said, commanding the defense. Conway leading the team in tackles so far this game, and see if this Fordham defense continues to click throughout the rest of the second half.
No scores in that first quarter, 0-0 after the first quarter, but then in that second quarter, 4 field goals in between these two teams. It seemed like both offenses started to click, but as you said, there's still room for both teams to grow.
Yeah, I mean, they're able to get down the field and get good opportunities in the red zone. You saw Fordham at the end of that first half. You saw Dartmouth on their first drive get inside the 10-yard line, but it's just a big part of football is can you deliver when you're in the red zone? And that's what we haven't seen from these teams yet today, being able to just punch it in for 6. I mean, Dartmouth had the ball at the 2-yard line, unable to put 6 points on the board. They come away with nothing.
Yeah, and it's been a season of ebbs and flows for this Fordham team. Not a lot of games this season where they go into halftime tied or ahead. They've been trailing a lot of times after a first half in most of their games this season. That has to change your mentality. It has to change how you're seeing this game in a positive way, obviously. Just trying to put yourself in the mindset of Fordham going into the second half. What do they need to do to secure the win today? Obviously a lot different of a mindset than they've had even the last 2 weeks going out after halftime.
I think they really need to take this momentum and just charge it right into the second half. Come up with a big defensive stop early into the second half. Maybe a 3-and-out. Maybe you guys get a turnover, and then use that turnover and use it effectively and try and get 6 points on the board, get a touchdown. Try not to settle for a field goal here and make it a 3-point game. Make Dartmouth have to come back down the field and answer back with a touchdown of their own. But it all starts with this defense on the second half.
Yeah, it all starts with this defense. I think a stop and a score has to be the mindset for this Fordham team. They have to come out with a certain mentality after a stop as well. This Fordham team has done a good job all season of getting stops. Scoring after those stops seems to be the part where they've had more trouble. that's it for us, Anthony. We're going to come back in the post game after this game to talk about everything that happens in the second half. For now, it's 6-6, Dartmouth and Fordham all knotted up at the half. We're going to send it back to Moglia Stadium with Isabella Terracini, Tucker Austin, and Brendan Shorey on the field at the field for our second half. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch up with you later.
And thank you so much, Chris Carino and Anthony Smith. You'll hear from Anthony again at the end of the third quarter for another update. And then, like Chris said, you'll hear from both of them after the game on the post-game show. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you alongside Isabella Terracini, who is down on the sidelines. And Isabella has a quick update for us at the half about some of the alumni in attendance this weekend for homecoming. Isabella.
Oh, yeah, the update was good.
That's right, guys. It's homecoming, which means there are alumni left and right. One that particular stood out to me was KJ Reed and MJ Wright. KJ Reed is wearing the same jersey that he was wearing when he was at Fordham. He's still on the sidelines with the team. He's having a blast, and he's jumping around with the rest of the team. Thanks, guys. Back to y'all.
And thanks very much, Isabella. May hear from her again in the second half. Well, it's nice to hear
it's hard. We had trouble a couple weeks.
The Fordham alumni are in attendance. Fordham has plenty of players in their history who have played on this ground and made their way into the NFL. And of course, famously, back in the day, Vincent Lombardi. He walked the streets of the Rose Hill campus, part of the 7 blocks of granite. And as both teams come back out, we're 5 minutes away from the start of the second half here, Brendan. Extremely defensive first half, but Fordham's offense seeming to get the gears turning a little bit at the end of that first.
Yeah, scoreless first quarter, Tucker, but in that second quarter, it seemed like both offenses were able to find some sort of footing, especially the Fordham offense driving down. They were held back by that penalty on the first field goal, but then forcing that turnover on the punt, kicking the second field goal as time expired. They definitely did find something that had kind of started working for them.
That's why I wanted to get the order on it right before we went.
It took that entire first quarter, but eventually started to get things going.
If you don't have it
Johan Lee Lewis, just 3 touches, wound up with 14 yards on the ground, but maybe not making as big of an impact when you look at the numbers, but those 14 yards came all close to the red zone and in very difficult situations for the Fordham offense. So I would say they've been doing a pretty good job mixing up the running backs in the backfield when they need different things out of them. Ricky Parks is their explosive guy. He can blow straight through the offensive line and get chunk yards upfield. Jamel James, a little more of a power rusher, getting that 2 or 3 that DJ Cruther has been getting Dartmouth on the other side. And then Johan Lee Lewis, kind of the wild card. He can kind of do it all, and it's a lot harder to read how he's going to move the football.
Yeah, he's also kind of their pass catching back out of the backfield. The guy who's best in between those 3 guys, the best one, best hands, best guy after the catch, and making those difficult catches. But yeah, Tucker, they're mixing up the looks they're giving the Dartmouth defense between personnel and different formations and different groupings of people out on the field. They're really keeping the Dartmouth defense where they have to stay on their toes.
Meanwhile, defensively, the Fordham Rams have been playing an excellent game through the first half. They're going to need the defense to show up in a big way in the second half to keep Dartmouth from gaining the lead and then possibly extending it. Dartmouth is going to get the ball to start the second half, but in that first half, Fordham's defense played very, very well. Andrew Osmond picked up 6 tackles. Drew Minnick picked up 4 tackles. Tackle for loss out of James Conway, who picked up 8 tackles in the first half, leaving him now 20 shy of the FCS record in all-time tackles, Brendan.
Tucker, he's such a good player, such a good leader for this defense, and in a game like this where the game is won or lost in the trenches, and that warfare in the trenches, it opens up a lot of opportunities for guys in that second level, like these linebackers, to go up and make plays. And in the first half we saw on those drives where Dartmouth was less successful, it was because the Fordham defensive line and linebackers were flowing fast and hard and not letting the offensive line get that much push. On those drives where Dartmouth was successful, they were able to get more push from that offensive line, able to pick up more yardage through the run game.
Both field goal kickers perfect in the first half. Pair of field goals for Bennett Henderson, pair of field goals for Owen Zalk.
And I'm sure they're just waiting for their chance to kick an extra point today, Tucker.
Oh, they certainly are. It would be the easiest thing that they've done
it's the same
this
thing.
afternoon.
It's just not.
But it's also good to see Alex Kemper getting involved as well. His first game back from injury after missing a significant amount of time on this Fordham Rams defense. He picked up just one tackle in that first half, but still, just having his presence out there on the field, the defense feels so much more cohesive.
Yeah, and he's not playing 100% of the snaps today. Justin Johnson is working in a little bit as they ease Alex Kemper back from injury, but just his presence out there on the field means so much with his defense. He's a natural leader for this team. He's been with the program for a while, and he's just one of the better players on this defense. He's been so good throughout his career, and he's one of the captains of this team. So getting him back is definitely a huge plus today.
These are the sounds from the game, because I'm sure we'll talk about it.
And both teams getting ready. We're 40 seconds away. Under 40 now in the countdown before the start of the second half. And Brendan, of course, the doctor's orders for the Fordham defense is get a stop to start this second half against the Dartmouth offense that hasn't really been struggling to move the football in this game. But when they get down towards the end zone, things start to seize up a little bit. So what does Fordham's defense have to do to quickly get the ball back into Gunnar Smith's hands?
Yeah, you got to win the battle in the trenches. You've got to get some push against that offensive line. Don't let Crother run for 4 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry in this half. You have to stop him at maybe 2 yards a carry, force them into long third downs, force Saunier to make plays through the air.
Yeah, he's averaging 4.1 yards per carry on 11 attempts is DJ Crother. He's also the second leading rusher in the entirety of the Ivy League this season. So definitely a hard man to stop, but that's just Fordham's task as Bennett Henderson is ready to boot this one away. It's the Rams 6 and the Big Green 6. Fordham and Dartmouth second half is underway, and it's an onside kick attempt, but the ball does not get 10 yards away from the kicking spot. It rolled up maybe 6 yards. Really interesting play to open the half from the Fordham Rams. Dartmouth has prime field position starting their first drive of the second half from the Fordham 42.
I love the aggressiveness from Coach Conlon to come out in the second half and try and steal a possession like that on the opening kickoff of the half. I love that aggressiveness. It just shows that he trusts his guys if it doesn't work. He trusts his defense to get a stop. But if it does work, we're going to go, we're going to score, we're going to set the tone.
Doesn't quite work out that way, though, as now the defense is given an even taller task here, not only of just stopping Dartmouth in their excellent run game, but also stopping Dartmouth on a drive that starts from Fordham's own half of the field. Grayson Saunier in the shotgun with a running back offset to his left as the sun starts to peek out from some of the overcast here on Rose Hill. Saunier back to pass, rolls to his right, throws to his right, it's incomplete. A little too far that time for Nick Lemon.
Saunier trying to throw off platform there. He's running out right and throwing that one on the run. He just kind of misses that one a little bit right, throws it into the ground, out of bounds. He had an open receiver, just missed him.
Running back out there for Dartmouth at the moment is DJ Crother. Grayson Saunier has Crother to his right. Two receivers on the right with two on the left. Takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Crother, bursts through the line of scrimmage, and gets well more than 5 yards. Call it maybe 8 yards, almost 9. It's going to bring up a third down and very short.
Yeah, huge hole there for Crother. He wasn't touched in the first 4 yards.
Third down and 1. Shotgun again. Handoff to Cruther up the middle. He's got the first down and more across the 30 and down to the Fordham 26-yard line.
Very similar play calls the past 2 plays. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just running up the gut, picking up those yards.
Ball actually placed on the 27, right hash. Dartmouth moving right to left in white helmets, white jerseys with black pants. Fordham defense playing left to right. Maroon, full body, head to toe. Back to pass is Saunier. He has a man on the left side near the numbers. Tries to turn upfield, but he's brought down immediately. Another chunk gain brings up 2nd down and 3.
And it looked like Drew Minnick, one of these safeties for this Fordham Rams defense, kind of read that play. He sniffed it out, but just was too far out of position to be able to make a play on the ball. He ends up being the guy making the tackle.
Chris Corbo comes off the field for Dartmouth. 2 receivers on the left and 2 on the right. DJ Cruther offset to the right of Grayson Saunier. Saunier takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to Cruther. There's a big hole, and he bounces it around to the right, and he's still moving across the 10 to the 5 and into the end zone for the Dartmouth touchdown. DJ Cruther. Dartmouth takes the 12-6 lead with 13:27 to go, and they'll set up for the extra point.
Boogie Owens had a chance to make the tackle on that touchdown, but Cruther, so strong, just runs through him, bounces off Owens, and scoots into that end zone.
Cruther scored that one from 20 yards out. For the early punch in the jaw for Dartmouth, the extra point is up, and it's good from Owen Zalk to make it 13-6 Dartmouth. The Big Green with the big drive to open the second half.
And Tucker, right now you're looking back at the end of that first half. Those 3 points you got. It's still a 1-possession game. That turnover doesn't happen. You're down 10. You are getting the ball back, but 2-possession game kind of has some more urgency behind it.
Fordham certainly in a much better position due to that field goal at the end of the first half, but now in a 7-point hole. Dartmouth leads the Fordham Rams 13-6 with 13:27 to go in the third quarter. We'll step away for just a moment. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. Isabella Terracini down on the sidelines for us. And the Dartmouth Big Green have just punched the Fordham Rams in the jaw out of the halftime break. 13:27 to go here in the third quarter. Dartmouth with a 13-6 lead now on Fordham's homecoming. And it's the 7th rushing touchdown of the season for Dartmouth's RB1, DJ Cruther, who has really been generally unstoppable today for Dartmouth, and finally gets them into the end zone for the first time today.
Yeah, he is the guy for this Dartmouth offense. Their offense runs through Cruther, and he's so strong. He's such a good running back, one of the best in the Ivy League at the very least, and he goes and Dartmouth came out swinging, like you said, Tucker, came out swinging, punched Fordham right in the jaw. Fordham now has a chance to bounce back. Let's see if they can get back up.
Fordham attempted an onside kick on their second half opening kickoff, but it only traveled about 8 yards away from the ball placement. Dartmouth got plus field position and then used that to their advantage to put 7 on the board. Ready for the kickoff now. It's Matisse Weaver to kick it away once again for Dartmouth. Back to receive for the Rams is Troy Worrell. The kick is away, but it's going to be received by Vinny Rugai at the 5. Fair caught. And so the Fordham Rams will start this drive and try to respond to the Dartmouth touchdown here with a touchdown of their own in the second half.
Interesting fair catch there from Rugai. It's something you haven't really seen this Fordham special teams unit do a whole lot. They like to return these kicks, especially with Troy Worrell back there.
They like to return it, but they kicked it away from Worrell, so Fordham elects to take it at the 25. Shotgun snap for Smith, looks to his left, now throwing to the left, and he has a man. It's complete near the 35-yard line. He was tackled coming back towards the 30, but he's marked at the 33.
Noden Tracy there on that one. A comeback route off of a play action. He's able to make that catch, and it's a very short second down.
Tracy with now a 4th catch on the day. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun again, 3 receivers on the right. Play action, fires over the middle, has a man. It's Freeberg across the 50 and tackled at the Dartmouth 46. Big play for Jack Freeberg, and Fordham is across midfield.
As a quarterback, you have an internal clock. 1, 2, 3, ball out. Gunnar Smith does perfectly, gets that one out right before getting sacked.
Tempo for the Rams. 2 receivers on the right, one of them's Freeberg. 1 wide receiver on the left, and a running back offset to the left of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap, fires left quickly. Breaking a tackle is Tracy. Past the first down marker and up to the 30. Brought down right there. And it's back-to-back first down plays for the Fordham Rams, moving the ball quickly against this Dartmouth defense.
Fordham loves to run those 5-yard hitch routes, get the ball to their playmakers, and let them go make a play. This time, Noden Tracy does just that.
Excellent job by Tracy to shed the initial tackler off as well for extra yards. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, Ricky Parks to his left. He hands it off to Parks, who goes up the middle to the right side, between the hashes, and he gets about 3.
It's a great job by Parks there on a play that really looked like there was nothing there. He puts his shoulder down, drives right into the back of a few of his offensive linemen, and goes and picks up a few.
Second down and 6, 11:45 to go here in the third quarter. Dartmouth leads 13-6 over Fordham. 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Ball on the left hash at the Dartmouth 26-yard line. Smith takes the shotgun snap, looking to pass. Fires over the middle. He has Freeberg, but there's a flag. Freeberg going to be wrestled down by a couple of Dartmouth defenders, a yard short of the first down, but we'll wait to see what the flag is.
And Tucker, that flag thrown right by where the offensive line was, right by the Fordham right tackle. It looks like it will likely be some sort of hold. Coach Conlon is not super happy on the sideline.
Owen Deutsch is tagged for the hold. He was appealing to his sideline, asking for a flag against the defense. Looked like he was signaling maybe for a face mask or some kind of a defensive holding, maybe in illegal hands. But Fordham going to be backed up again while in Dartmouth territory. It's the second time today they've been behind the sticks on Dartmouth side of the field.
Yeah, big one down by the end zone earlier. This one now sits you behind the chains. For Fordham, that's not something you want to be experiencing right now.
As the referees are going to stop play for a moment and talk things over. Fordham was set up with 3 receivers on the right. Jabril Carter all the way wide. Jack Freeberg in the slot with Jaden Allen lined up between them. Opposite side of the field is the lone receiver, Noden Tracy. And it seems like it's going to be a slight respot. They move the ball from the Dartmouth 35 to the 36.
Making sure they get all 10 yards there, Tucker.
Every yard is important, Brendan. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Jamel James in the game to his left. Play action over the middle. It's Jack Freeberg again. Acrobatic leaping catch at the 20-yard line and lunges forward to the 17.
Great pitch and catch here. Gunnar Smith has to get that one over the tall defensive line. Has to get that one high. Freeberg goes up, makes the play, and picks up the first.
Tempo. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Jamel James to his left. 3 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. Looks left, throws left. It's lofted towards the end zone, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Dartmouth has the football at their own 5, now to their 10, up to their 15, and lunging towards the 20, but he's down at the Dartmouth 18. But an interception by Dartmouth. That time it was Sean Williams, his 3rd interception of the season and his 2nd in 2 weeks.
Gunnar Smith was not happy about this one. He was looking for Freeburg over the middle, who was wide open. He just overthrows this one. It goes over Freeburg's head right to Williams, his 3rd interception of the season. Dartmouth's 5th of the season as well.
Another INT for the Fordham quarterback. Gunnar Smith, it's his 7th of the season. And now Dartmouth, with a 7-point lead, has the ball in their own territory on their own 20-yard line. 10:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter after the Fordham turnover in the red zone. And the first play goes up the middle to DJ Cruther, but he is wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. It's a tackle for loss, and it is not easy to get Cruther for negative yards.
No, Claudie Robinson, the guy there on that one, the defensive tackle for this Fordham unit. He gets in the backfield and gets to Cruther for a loss.
10:20 and ticking to go in the 3rd quarter. Empty backfield for Grayson Saunier. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Drops back to pass. Looking middle, now looking right. Flushed out of the pocket. He bootlegs out to the left. Now he's going to take it towards the sideline, and he scampers out of bounds after a gain of 3.
James Conway does a great job of tracking Saunier down here, forces him out of bounds. Conway's a guy that is so hard to make him miss. Saunier knows this and just runs out of bounds, takes a short gain.
3rd down and 7. Fordham needs a stop here to keep this a 1-possession game. Dartmouth trying to drive down and open up their lead. From the Dartmouth 24. Back to passes Saunier, dumps it off for Cruther, and he is attacked immediately in the backfield and brought down. Big play by Andrew Osman in the backfield, and the punt unit comes out for the Big Green.
Dartmouth tries to set up the screen pass here to Cruther out to the right, but Andrew Osman sniffs it out from the jump, runs straight to Cruther, and makes the tackle for a big loss.
And what could have been a very costly turnover is negated by the Fordham defense. You love to see the defense picking up the offense like that, as it's a quick 3 and out for Dartmouth. Punt is away. It's very good. It's over the 40, lands at the 35. He punted that from near his own 10-yard line, and it rolls out of bounds at the 30. Booming punt for Dartmouth. Luke Armistead with all the leg that time.
Freeburg was the return guy there on that one. It looked like he completely lost that ball in the sun. He was standing out there, hands outstretched, like, where is it? Where is it? It went over his head and bounced a few yards behind him. Luckily for him, it did not bounce and hit him in the legs. Instead, it just bounced and kept rolling.
Yeah, it is a really tough time of the day to be a punt returner, especially the direction that Fordham is moving. Like you said, Freeburg looked up, and the sun was directly in his eyes. So not surprised that he let that one fall, but it turns into an excellent punt for Dartmouth. We'll step away for just a moment. It's 13-6, Big Green with the lead, 8:49 to go in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. It's homecoming here on the Rose Hill campus of Fordham University. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. Isabella Terracini is on the sidelines for us. 13-6, the Dartmouth Big Green lead the Fordham Rams, but Fordham just threw up a big stop against the Dartmouth offense after a turnover deep in Dartmouth territory, an interception thrown by Gunnar Smith. Smith is out there once again to lead his Rams down the field. Two receivers stacked up on both sides of the field with the ball on the left hash at the Fordham 30. It'll be a handoff up the middle on the first play of this drive, and wrapped up immediately is Johan Lee Lewis by 3 Dartmouth defenders.
Yeah, nothing doing there on that play. There wasn't really a hole that opened up for Lewis there. Just immediately swallowed by Dartmouth defensive linemen.
8:28 and ticking here in the third quarter. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Lewis stays out there at running back. 3 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Smith hands it off to Lewis up the middle, who breaks free through the second level, almost gets to the third, but he's brought down 2 yards short of the first, brings up 3rd down and 2.
Much better job by the offensive line on this play. They opened up a wide hole right up the middle for Johan Lee Lewis to run through.
Ball on Fordham's 38, near the left hash. 2 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun now looks to the sideline for a play call, and it's a snap. They tried to trick play to Johan Lee Lewis, but the snap goes over his head. Gunnar Smith was still looking at the sideline when they snapped the football, so more trickery for the Fordham Rams, but the second time that the execution isn't there, Brendan.
I love the idea behind this. Try and catch the Dartmouth defense by surprise here. Direct snap to the running back, let him run it. The snap was over the head, just so much chaos on this play. It doesn't work out for Fordham, and now they have to punt it.
Yeah, actually a quick 3 and out after the offense made some solid drives back-to-back. But Will Haslett will punt this one. He's standing on his own 15. Back to receive the punt is Sean Williams, the man who intercepted Gunnar Smith earlier in this game. Snap good, and the punt is away from Haslett. Received by Williams at the 30. He falls down immediately. Another case of the turf monster, Brendan.
I was going to say the same thing, Tucker. Turf monster is back at it.
Got Gunnar Smith earlier, and this time he gets the return man, but now still a Dartmouth player down on the field. I believe that's still Williams.
That is Williams. He couldn't tell what exactly happened there, but still down after going down. Turf is no friend to ACLs and MCLs.
This is true. Of course, MetLife Stadium being the primary example. Although for some reason that turf happens to take more than any other turf. But back up on his feet is Williams, and under his own power is walking off the field, helped by a couple of trainers, but not quite keeping weight off of either leg, although he takes his helmet off, seems pretty disappointed as he heads for the sideline.
It looked as if it was just a cramp by the way they were out on the field stretching him out, like lifting his leg up over, trying to get that cramp gone. He was able to walk off on his own power. Probably going to go have some pickle juice or something, sort of electrolytes to fix that issue.
Get him some electrolytes. Get him a banana. Maybe a Gatorade.
So many remedies for it.
Maybe he was disappointed about the fact that he had a little bit of green space in front of him, and he could have maybe returned that one for 10 or more yards on the back end. But Dartmouth's going to get another drive to start from their own 30. Fordham's defense, though, has really stepped up to the plate in this second half. They allowed that first touchdown by Dartmouth, who had a great drive designed coming out of the locker room, but then after the interception, Fordham shut them down immediately to pick up their quarterback, Gunnar Smith.
And the difference between those two drives, the first one, Crowther had so much space where he was able to run. And that second one, the Fordham defensive line, so strong, did not give Crowther those lanes to run through.
Alex Kemper in the game on defense. He's playing corner on the near side. Grayson Saunier has his running back lined up near even to his right. Two receivers on the right and two on the left. Sends his running back out of the backfield in motion. Now back to pass. Looks right and overthrows his man. Can't find Nick Lemon that time.
I don't know whether it was the pressure as the pocket was starting to collapse or a footwork thing, but Sonye just kind of airmails that throw over his receiver. He may have had him. It would have been a very tight window, but erring on the side of caution, tries to put it away from any Fordham defender, ends up throwing this one away.
Two receivers on the left and one on the right for Sonye. Running back offset to his left. Fordham has 4 on the D-line. They bring 4, but it's a handoff up the middle. And a 10-yard gain on the ground that time for Desmond Jackson.
Corbo, again, they use him so well as a lead blocker, whether it's screens or runs, does a great job opening up holes.
Tempo for Dartmouth, quick snap, and it's another handoff up the middle. It's Jackson again, but this time he's doesn't get as many yards as he got on the last one, but he gets enough for the first down on the short yardage situation. Ball's going to be marked on the Dartmouth 41 with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, 3rd and 1. All you need to see is a running back just a glimpse of green. He sees it and is able to pick up that first.
Sonye has a running back offset to his right. 2 receivers on the left and 2 on the right side. Tight end in motion from left to right. Now sets up on the end of the line. Back to pass is Sonye, looking left all day, firing deep down the left side of the field. He has a man, and it's caught at the 15, to the 10, and then brought down at the 9. But a big play there. More than 40 yards on the completion. He finds his man, Sean Ward, the senior tight end out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Sonye wanted to go to the flat, but it was covered by John Scott. Went deep, big completion.
Tempo and up the middle for Jackson. But he's going to be brought down. A couple of Fordham defenders plugging that up on 1st and goal. It'll be 2nd and goal now from the Fordham 7.
Yeah, Sonye, obviously he knows his Fordham defense after that big play is going to be a little tired. Try to just get up on that line, get a play going quick, see if you can take advantage of that tiredness.
And a switch on offense for Dartmouth. Sees Chris Corbo, the tight end, re-enter the game. 2 receivers on the left. Corbo on the end of the line on the right, running back to the left of Sonye. Sonye hands it off to the right side, but plugged up immediately. That time it was Dylan Elder, the sophomore running back, and the 3rd rusher of the day for the Big Green.
Yeah, Tucker, 2 receivers on the left, but both tight ends on the right on that play. Just trying to get some big bodies over there and block on an outside zone play. Fordham defensive line and linebacking units snip that one out and make a big tackle.
It was a 50-yard completion to set up this red zone trip for Dartmouth. 2 receivers on the left and 1 on the right, but it looks like a timeout. It's going to be called by Joe Conlon. And maybe a costly timeout with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter and down by 7, but Coach Joe Conlon clearly didn't like the look that time.
Yeah, Coach Conlon was sprinting down the sideline. He did not want that ball to be snapped at all, whether it was an alignment issue or a personnel thing that he saw. Just did not like what he saw out on the field. Had to get that timeout in, see if they can regroup and go back out.
And let me give credit where it's due. The 50-yard reception was actually courtesy of Kedrick Fisher, the wide receiver for Dartmouth, who with just 1 catch immediately took over as the leading receiver today for the Big Green. 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Dartmouth leads Fordham 13-6 on Fordham's homecoming. Fordham down to 2 timeouts after Conlon called one before this 3rd down and goal scenario. From the 6-yard line back to pass is Sonye, throwing for the end zone, but incomplete. Excellent coverage there, like a blanket in the back of the end zone, and that brings up 4th down.
Andrew Osmond, the guy in coverage on Corbo. Sonye just trying to get any mismatch he can find. Ends up going to his tight end in the back Osmond does a great job knocking that ball down.
And so Owen Zalk comes back out onto the field for his third field goal attempt of the afternoon. He was good twice in the first half, and so he'll try to make it a 2-score game and a 10-point lead for the Big Green. The snap and the kick is up, and it is good. Owen Zalk 3 for 3 on the afternoon and gives the Big Green the 16-6 advantage with 3:53 to go in the third quarter.
Another chip shot here, Tucker. 24-yard field goal, which almost went awry. Ball was snapped, and it looked like the holder, that one kind of got into his body. He had to hurry and get that ball down, but he got it down in time. Zalk able to put an extra 3 on the board for Dartmouth.
And with that, we have more from our third member of our broadcast crew, Isabella Terracini, down on the sidelines. What do you have for us, Isabella?
Thanks, guys. I wanted to mention offensive coordinator Art Aselta and wide receiver coach Jake Petraka sat down the entire O-line, told them to not worry, not let that interception affect them, just keep your head on straight. He told them, go back out there, get what you have to get done, and just have a good time. Thanks, back to y'all.
Thanks very much, Isabella. Certainly good stuff there from the wide receiver coach and the offensive coordinator for the Fordham Rams, trying to keep their guys in it, keep their guys locked in. Now with a bit of a hole to dig out of, Brendan, down by 10, 16-6, the Dartmouth Big Green do lead.
Yeah, down by 10, 2-possession game. Not a whole lot of time left in the third quarter. A little more urgency now for the Fordham Rams.
Kickoff away and received by Troy Worrell at the goal line. He takes it out of the end zone, gets across the 20, and he is leveled at the 22. But still a solid 22-yard return. They have to peel Worrell off the turf. Still looks okay, though, but, man, he took a shot on that one.
He did. He almost turned into Flat Stanley on that one. Kind of picked up and forklifted into the ground. He got right back up, but a big hit delivered nonetheless.
Good form tackle. As there's a flag here as Fordham's trying to get set up. Not really sure what this is going to be about.
I imagine they get him for too many men in the huddle. We just saw Worrell running off the field a little late.
Great call, Brendan. That's football IQ right there for you. And substitution infraction for 12 men in the huddle against the Fordham Rams. Can't get away from the mistakes, can Fordham today, so they'll start from behind the sticks on this drive. Smith takes the shotgun snap and goes to the left, but it's incomplete. Dartmouth tried to scoop that ball, claiming a fumble, but there was no clear reception that time. Fordham's going to have a 2nd down and 15 here from their own 18.
Yeah, Jabril Carter motions from right to left, and it looks like they're setting up a screen pass for him. Catch it with blockers in front of you. Pass was a little low. Jabril Carter in and out of his hands. 2nd down and long.
3:43 to go. Clock is stopped in the third quarter. Gunnar Smith takes a shotgun snap. 2 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. It's a handoff to Ricky Parks this time. And there is nothing doing for Parks on the left side. He tried to get the edge, but there's just too many Dartmouth hats in the area. And he's brought down for no gain. 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, Fordham trying to take a page out of Dartmouth's playbook there with the wide outside zone. Dartmouth sees it, and they are all over it.
3rd and 15, Fordham deep in their own territory inside their own 20. 3 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Running back to the left is Ricky Parks. It's a screen for Ricky Parks to the left side. He has 1 lead blocker. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage at the 23, is knocked out of bounds at the 25, and the Fordham punt unit comes out immediately after that play.
Tucker, I like that play call. I just don't like how they ran it to the short side of the field. It doesn't give Ricky Parks any room to work with over there. Yes, he has blockers, but that sideline is an extra defender at that point.
Will Hazlitt doing plenty of work today for the Fordham Rams. He's out there once again to punt this one away. And I believe that's Ian Scott out there now. Sean Williams was the punt returner, but seems to still be out of the game after he fell on the last return. It's a sky-high short kick from Hazlitt. It lands at the 45 of Fordham, but bounces very favorably across midfield and all the way to the opposite 42. So a little bit lucky there on the bounce for Will Hazlitt, as Dartmouth nearly had field position again on the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, very fortunate about that bounce. Hazlitt is not happy about that punt. He came over to the sideline shaking his head, immediately took off his helmet, sat down. He
doesn't miss a lot of punts, Brendan.
He does not. That's the only punt I've ever seen him miss. I think that's the worst one I've ever seen, and it still got a good bounce from it. Still put them on the other side of the field.
Will Hazlitt, a perfectionist of a punter, and Fordham wouldn't have it any other way. 16-6, Dartmouth with the lead and the football here with 2:13 to go in the third quarter. Ball on their own 43. Saunier with the handoff on the jet sweep, but he's going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there. It was Grayson O'Bara on the jet.
TJ Jones does a fantastic job here, getting up, making that play at the line of scrimmage. O'Bara is a very shifty guy, so to be able to make that tackle is huge.
O'Bara has gotten a lion's share of the targets and the receptions for this Dartmouth team this season. But today, just the 4 catches. Back to pass is Saunier, looking to his right, now throwing to his right. He has a man wide open at the 40, and it's complete. Now to the 30, and a couple of Fordham defenders are there. He's finally stopped near the 25. Forward progress will put him at the Fordham 24, but another chunk play in the passing game for the run game-oriented Dartmouth Big Green.
Listen, Dartmouth does not use their running backs in the passing game very often, but a beautiful route here from Crother. Every play he goes to the flat. This time, a wheel route, fakes going to the flat, sneaks up the sideline. Saunier hits him in stride perfectly.
And in case DJ Crother wasn't dangerous enough, add that dimension to his game. 2 receivers on the left, none on the right. 2 running backs for Saunier, who's back to pass. Waiting, now throwing to the left, and wrapped up immediately by Drew Minnick at the 30-yard line. Nothing doing there. And that brings up second down very long.
One thing this Dartmouth team loves to do, they love their double moves on the outside. Receivers either faking a block and getting deep or a stop and go. This time, they looked like they were trying to set up a fake screen, go up the outside. It just was not open.
And they used another running back in the pass game. They went to Desmond Jackson that time. 2 receivers on the right, 2 on the left. Running back offset to the right of Grayson Saunier. Saunier going to keep it and try to go up the middle, but immediately collapsing around him. Several Fordham defenders bringing him down behind the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, when you have a quarterback like Saunier, you're able to run plays like this. A quarterback draw, drop back, make the defense drop into their passing lanes, their passing zones, and then take off up the middle. He's able to pick up a few, but it's still a 3rd and long here, Tucker.
And with all those plays in the middle of the field, the clock bled right away. That brings us to the end of the third quarter. Dartmouth with the football, driving in Fordham territory, and with the lead 16-6. But before we get to the fourth quarter, we send it back to the Rose Hill studio for another one-on-one scoreboard update with Anthony Smith. Anthony?
Thanks, guys. Some interesting games going on in the Patriot League right now. Colgate and Georgetown in a tight contest. The Raiders and the Hoyas still knotted up at 7 in the third quarter. Crusaders and the Spiders are nearing the end of the first half. It's the Crusaders who have the 14-7 lead, still looking to find themselves in the win column. Continuing with college football, LSU and Vanderbilt are neck and neck. The Commodores trying to slam the door on the Tigers with a late 7-point fourth quarter lead. Another slate of highly anticipated college games continues with the battle of Saban's disciples, Lane and Kirby. Rebels visiting the Bulldogs in Georgia, getting close to game time. Now let's switch to the baseball diamond. The Los Angeles Dodgers punched their ticket back to the Fall Classic. The Dodgers completed the 4-game sweep in the NLCS against the Brewers. The story? Who else other than Shohei Ohtani, one of the greatest individual performances in a team sport. Ohtani claimed the NLCS MVP after pitching 6 shutout innings and whiffing 10 batters. He also smashed 3 home runs in the pennant-clinching win. Transitioning to the American League, the home team finally won a game. Seattle fans continue to cry in happiness as they are one win away from their first trip to the World Series in franchise history. It was Eugenio Suarez who came through for Seattle, hitting 2 home runs, including a go-ahead grand slam in the bottom of the 8th. Game 6 tomorrow night in Rogers Center as the Mariners try to knock off the Blue Jays. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Thanks very much, Anthony, as we welcome you back. And thanks very much, Anthony, as we welcome you back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field. The homecoming game for the Fordham Rams not going quite to plan so far, just 15 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Dartmouth with a 16-6 lead as these teams switch sides of the field. Dartmouth driving and looking to try and put this one a little bit further out of reach. Brendan, the Fordham offense that started to get the gears turning at the end of the first half really hasn't been able to find that stride again in this second half, especially when you look at the interception down near the end zone and all the mistakes that have come out now with the penalties. Fordham really having to overcome themselves more so than Dartmouth's defense.
Yeah, Tucker, and I think when you look back on it, you look at 2 plays, you look at the interception after Fordham had been driving a little bit, and then you look at, on the second possession, the trick play wannabe where that snap goes high, they have to fall on it, and then they have to punt that away.
I think baseball we could really get in.
Grayson Saunier is ready to go with DJ Cruther in the backfield offset to his right. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. 1 man goes in motion from right to left, so now 2 wideouts on either side. Back to pass is Saunier. Pressured, flushed out, fires to the right sideline, but out of bounds as Heath just throws that one away. And that's going to bring up 4th down, but I believe this is still field goal range for Owens Elk.
Carter Hess is the guy who immediately pressured Saunier up through the middle. Saunier has to avoid that, scramble right, and you said it, Tucker, just a throwaway, give his kicker a chance.
It is the 4th attempt of the afternoon for Owen Zalk. He's 3 for 3 so far, and he's going to try and give Dartmouth an extra 3 points here. Snap is good, kick is up, and the kick is no good. It's wide left. Owen Zalk's first miss of the afternoon, and the Fordham defense holds strong to keep this at a 10-point game with 14 minutes 50 to go in the fourth quarter.
And Tucker, that one absolutely had the distance. Just a tiny bit left of those uprights, and Fordham's going to start with great field position here.
Fordham at least going to start outside of their own 20, and just a little bit better than a touchback. The ball is going to be at about the 26 or the 27-yard line of the Fordham Rams. But with that, we'll step away for just a moment. 16-6, the Dartmouth Big Green lead the Fordham Rams. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field, where the Dartmouth Big Green are looking to spoil Fordham's homecoming. It's 16-6. Dartmouth has the lead. And notably, I would say, Brendan, after a career high in reception, or after 2 weeks ago, I should say, a career high in receptions for Ricky Gonzalez II, and Fordham has not gotten him involved in this game yet.
No, 9 receptions a couple of weeks ago, Tucker. 69 yards in that game as well. But nothing so far this game. No receptions. Obviously no yards to go along with that. It's interesting to see how they can try and get him involved.
And we've seen a lot of four or more wide receiver looks for the Fordham Rams, and oddly enough, I haven't really seen Ricky Gonzalez's number out there. So
it looks like Ricky might be on the sideline. I don't see him with a helmet.
Well, that could be something to watch, as the Fordham Rams will take over from their own 27-yard line. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, hands it off up the middle, and that's a good solid 3-yard gain on first down for Jamel James.
Gunnar Smith does a good job acting after the handoff here, like he still has the ball, fakes the throwing motion. That draws defensive linemen to him, keeps him away from whoever he hands the ball off to.
2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Running back offset to the right of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands it off once again to the left side, and he's got room. To the 35, now the 40, breaks a tackle at the 45, across the 50, and to Dartmouth's 45 goes Jamel James. Big play there, but there is laundry on the field behind the 30.
That was a fantastic run by Jamel James, made multiple people miss, but this one is going to come back against Fordham.
And a 30-yard gain on the ground for Jamel James is erased by yet another holding penalty against this Fordham Rams offense.
And a lot of boos from the crowd, a couple of ref you suck chants as well.
Not happy with the refereeing, but could just be because of the scoreboard. But either way, the Rams now backed up in their own territory once again. 2nd down and 17, clock ticking, under 14 minutes to play. Trips left with a wide receiver alone on the right. It's Jabril Carter near the numbers. Jamel James stays in the game to the left of Gunnar Smith. Smith takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to James up the middle, who goes barreling through the line of scrimmage across the 20 and up to the 29. James slow to get up, but now on his feet.
I like that. Give the guy who just made a big play, give him another chance to go and make something happen there.
3rd down and 12 now for the Fordham Rams. They need a conversion here. 13:20 on the clock. Smith looks to the sideline for a play call. It doesn't look like this is a trick play. Now a timeout comes out from Dartmouth as they don't like the look. Can hear coaches in other parts of this press box, Brendan, absolutely losing their minds.
They do not
over
sound
the
happy.
miscommunication.
They do not sound happy, Tucker.
But honestly, I've heard both teams' coaches kind of losing it a little bit during this game. It's been a lot of mistakes and a lot of miscommunication from both of these teams. Probably a reason why there's only a combined 22 points here, under 14 to play in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and Tucker, we saw the timeout earlier for Fordham. Coach Collins sprints down the sideline, calls a timeout, whether it was a miscommunication or some sort of formation he just didn't like. And then there was also the 12 men in the huddle. Stuff like that is a lot of miscommunications.
With that, we'll step aside for a brief moment. It's 16-6, Dartmouth leading the Fordham Rams with 13:16 on the clock in the 4th quarter. We'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Spiro Ditas, WFUV class of 2001. WFUV is the epicenter of Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, men's and women's basketball, and of course, our iconic Saturday show, One on One. So keep your radios locked in right here, 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV sports.
We welcome you back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field here on the beautiful campus of Fordham University on Rose Hill in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. The third member of our team is Isabella Terracini. 13-16 left in the fourth quarter and a 16-6 deficit for the Fordham Rams against the Dartmouth Big Green. Fordham with the ball in a tough spot here in their own territory at their own 25 for a 3rd and 12. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun with 3 receivers to his left and 1 to the right. Dartmouth showing a little bit of pressure as Smith looks to the sideline for his play call. Now claps and now takes the snap, back to pass, looking left, throwing left, has his man, and Noden Tracy shakes off the initial hit at the 30. He got clocked at the 30-yard line and managed to stay on his feet. Great play, but still only gets to the 30, brings up 4th down in the punt.
Yeah, Tucker, that was a big hit that he took. Somehow shakes it off and has a little bit of room to try and wiggle forward for a few more yards. But that one, Gunnar Smith just has to take his check down there. Isn't able to throw past the sticks. Another punt here from Fordham. And that's not Will Hazlitt back there.
No, that's Bennett Henderson. No, that was WFUV's own. Dominic Sansone got in the game for a punt. That's his first of the year. Shout out to Dom. As that one gets away, Fordham going to Sansone instead of Will Hazlitt after the shank by Hazlitt last time out. An excellent punt from Sansone as it gets down to the Dartmouth 31. And Fordham switching the field effectively to give their defense a chance for a stop here.
Yeah, they don't give Dartmouth any great field position. Fantastic job there on that punt. Now you just got to trust your defense to go out there, step up, make some plays, and give you the ball back.
So excited for Dom. But I digress. Grayson Saunier with a running back offset to his left, 2 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. He rolls out, now he takes it himself, cuts back upfield, and he is hit hard at the 35, and the ball is free. Fordham claiming they have it, waiting for a signal. The referees are still deliberating, as they did on the punt turnover, but Fordham's players seemed very convinced that they recovered that football. Saunier took a shot at the 35-yard line trying to get an extra couple of yards.
Fordham thinks they have it. The entire sideline started going crazy. Everyone on the field started going crazy. It looks like they finally have a ruling.
Still waiting on the head referee's call here. Looking for a football now from the Fordham sideline. And it is Fordham's ball. Fordham forces a huge turnover here with 12:20 to go in the fourth quarter. They'll have plus field position at Dartmouth's 35 with a 10-point deficit.
Tucker, that is exactly how you flip the momentum back right there. Huge turnover there. Force the fumble on Saunier and give your offense fantastic field position.
And you heard right there, ruling on the field is a forced fumble. Couldn't quite tell who actually popped the ball out because multiple Fordham players were there on the ball. This one's going to go to a review as well, but have to imagine with all the bodies around the football, this one might take a little bit longer than the review from earlier in this game.
Yeah, Tucker, here they're going to go review a couple of things. Was he down before he fumbled? And was there a clear recovery by Fordham? And I think the recovery part is going to be the easier part to review.
Is under further review for a potential targeting foul against number 11, Fordham.
Whoa. So if
Big
you heard
change.
that is a very interesting change. I wonder what kind of effect that has on the play, because it seems like initially they were going to review it to see if it was a turnover, but that's not what they're reviewing anymore, Brendan. Fordham successfully turned over Dartmouth, but now they're taking a look at targeting. This can only move the football back and keep Fordham possession, right?
That's a very good question. They're reviewing it for John Scott, whether he came in led with the crown of his helmet, or delivered a hit to the neck and head area of Saunier. But if that's what caused the fumble, it would be interesting to see, since we didn't have a very good view of who caused that fumble when it happened. Maybe the hit was after the ball was already out. It's going to be something to see here, how they rule this. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Brendan, like you said, we didn't have a perfect angle, but from my perspective, it looked like the ball popped out after Saunier got hit a little up high. Didn't necessarily look like a targeting from my perspective, but he did get hit up near his arms and his chest.
That's what it looked like to me too, Tucker. It looked like he just took a very big hit to the chest area, which then popped the ball out.
As we continue to await the ruling on this possible targeting against John Scott III, it would be the first targeting penalty called against the Fordham Rams this season. Defense has been playing very clean in terms of the hitting. And you really have to wonder if Fordham keeps the ball in this case. This could have a huge impact on the momentum.
After review, there was no targeting on number 11 game. The ruling of a fumble recovered by the defense is upheld. First Fordham.
All right, so sounds like they were looking at pretty much everything on that review, Brendan. They looked at the fumble and the possible targeting, but both of them good outcomes for the Fordham Rams. The fans very happy, trying to rally around these Fordham Rams here at homecoming to come back from down 10.
And a big chance here to strike back, Tucker.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back to his left. One wide receiver on the left and one to the right. And it's a fake end around. Wide open man, Jay Nowlin at the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and he's tackled out of bounds near the 5-yard line. But an excellent throw by Gunnar Smith. Even better route by Jay Nowlin to get open. Fordham threatening inside the 10.
That play design was beautiful. Fake the handoff. Have Freeberg, who was already offset from the line, come around back. Gunnar Smith, back turn, fake the handoff, throw deep, big completion.
First and goal, Fordham Rams from the 5-yard line. Ticking under 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Fordham down 16-6. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Ricky Parks to his left, lined up even. One wide out to the right in motion. It's Freeberg. It's a jet to Freeberg. He's at the 5, spinning for the end zone. He lunges and he's in. Touchdown, Fordham. Jack Freeberg on the jet sweep puts it in the end zone, and Fordham trails 16-12.
Fantastic play there. You have Freeberg coming in motion from right to left, already with a head of steam. Gunnar Smith takes a snap, pitches it forward. Freeberg already in stride around the edge, fights his way in for the score.
11:37 left to go in the fourth quarter, and Bennett Henderson is on for the extra point to try and make this a 3-point ball game. The kick is up, and it's good right down the middle. Bennett Henderson's extra point makes this a 3-point game. And the way Fordham's defense has been playing in this second half, Brendan, this is a brand new football game with 11 and a half minutes to go.
It is a brand new football game. That is so true, Tucker. Amazing job by this offense coming out and striking back at Dartmouth, taking some shots down the field, scoring, making it a 3-point game. And the way you mentioned it, the way this defense has been playing in the second half, they've been playing lights out. If they can continue that with all the momentum that Fordham now has, this offense can go back out and have another chance at it.
With that, we take a quick break. But after the touchdown and extra point, Fordham trails Dartmouth 16-13. We'll be right back with more Fordham football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hey, this is Chris Carino, Fordham and WFUV class of 1992. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM, for all things WFUV sports.
As we welcome you back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field, to the sweet sounds of Sweet Caroline and the Fordham faithful singing it loud. 11:37 to go here in the fourth quarter. 16-13, Dartmouth has the lead, but Fordham with all the momentum after a forced fumble and the second time that the Rams have turned a turnover into points in this game.
Yeah, second time they've turned a turnover into points. They have been so good at forcing those turnovers this game with those couple of fumbles, and then their offense capitalizing on the opportunities this defense is giving them, going down, putting points on the board. That is winning football right there. That is complimentary football.
And it was Jack Freeberg with his third touchdown of the season, adding to his totals in receiving, as it was a jet sweep, so it counts as a receiving touchdown. Freeberg's got 5 catches for 51 on the day. Noden Tracy is the leading receiver for the Rams, also with 5 catches, but he's got 58 yards. Gunnar Smith, though, spreading the ball around once again. It's 7 different receivers in this game. After 2 weeks ago, he hit 10 different guys. Kickoff is away from Henderson. Fair caught inside the 5, so Dartmouth will bring it out to their own 25.
Yeah, Tucker, you mentioned those 2 guys, Freeberg and Noden Tracy. They came into this game as the top 2 guys in terms of receptions for this Fordham offense, and they have kind of taken over this receiving core and have been that kind of spark that the Fordham offense had been looking for.
And so Grayson Saunier and the Dartmouth Big Green come back out onto the field after their offense has started to sputter against the Fordham defense. 2 receivers on the right, none on the left. Running back to the right of Saunier. Saunier, the Lafayette, Louisiana native, drops back to pass. Looking middle, now looking right. Floats it up for his man over the 40-yard line and caught. Tiptoes before going out of bounds, and it's a first down at the 43-yard line for Dartmouth.
That's a beautiful throw from Saunier. He has to layer that one over Boogie Owens, who's kind of playing in that flat area, and then underneath the safeties for the big completion.
Dartmouth will try to be methodical about this drive and take some time off the clock as Saunier is in the shotgun again, running back to his right. 3 receivers on the left side as they go up the middle to DJ Cruther, who gets his regularly scheduled 5 yards.
It's a good run right there from Cruther. Sets up a second and medium, and it opens up the playbook for kind of what you are able to do in these situations.
10:50 and ticking here in the fourth quarter. Fordham has brought it back to within 3. 16-13 is the lead for the Big Green. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right with a tight end off the line of scrimmage. Running back to the left is Cruther. Back to pass is Saunier. He throws it to the left. Is a first down and more across the Fordham 45 and pushed out of bounds at the Fordham 43.
Something that Dartmouth has been doing all game is getting the ball out of Saunier's hands quick. 3-step drop, hit your back foot, get that ball out. We saw it right here on this play as well, getting that ball out quickly, not giving the Fordham pass rush time to get to him.
Saunier finally completing to Nick Lemon after 3 or 4 different targets that all landed incomplete. Lemon with the catch that time. First down and 10 from the Fordham 43. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Saunier, the snap, the play action, over the middle, has a man at the 30-yard line and just powering through the secondary to the Fordham 25. He's down at the 24, and it's back-to-back first downs for the Big Green.
Tucker, that right there is the beauty of play action. You fake the run, you get the linebackers to come up as if they're going to make a tackle. You pull that ball, and now you have all this space behind the linebackers to throw that ball into.
Dartmouth not taking too much time off the clock here, but still moving very efficiently and threatening to score once again. Saunier, running back is Cruther to his left. Wide receiver on the right and on the left. He throws up a fade to the right side. He has a man at the goal line. It's caught. Did he come down with it? It's a battle for the football. The call on the field is a touchdown from both referees. Touchdown, Dartmouth. It's Luke Reeves with the 25-yard touchdown reception, and Dartmouth takes a 22-13 lead.
That is such a good catch there by Reeves. He has to go up and catch this over a Fordham defender. He gets both his hands on it, and they're so strong, keeps that ball, and for the touchdown.
A rare passing touchdown for Grayson Saunier,
who only came into this game with 2 on the year.
Yeah, just the 3rd passing touchdown of the season, as Dartmouth gets ready for the extra point to try to make this a 10-point game once again. Owen Zalk is out there for the extra point. He missed a field goal attempt the last time he was place kicking. Snap is good, the kick is up, and it's through. Hits the scissor lift behind the goalposts. And Dartmouth answers the Fordham Rams with a touchdown of their own. It's 23-13. Dartmouth leads with 9:21 to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Tucker, they just completely stole the momentum right back from Fordham. Fordham had the big turnover, the touchdown, and then Dartmouth comes out and answers right back, punches back. And now Fordham, they have a chance. They got 9 minutes and change to go down, but they are now down 2 scores.
Fordham was feeling the juice, feeling the momentum, starting the 4th quarter. The fans were getting into it. They punch it in with a Jack Freeberg jet sweep, bring the deficit to within 3. Suddenly, everything, like the possibilities seem endless for the Fordham Rams after that play. But then Dartmouth just puts their nose to the turf, drives straight down the field, takes maybe 2 minutes off the clock, and re-extends the lead to 10.
And Tucker, a majority of that drive was through the air. They weren't really utilizing the ground game like they had been all game.
Matisse Weaver ready to kick this one away for Dartmouth. Back to receive is Troy Worrell. Kickoff is away. Booming kick. Vinny Rugai will make the catch at the 10-yard line, and it is a fair catch right there. So Fordham will bring the ball out to the 25. Brendan, 9 minutes, 21 seconds. Plenty of time left in this game. But if Dartmouth continues to put the pressure on like this, the Fordham offense is going to have to keep coming up with points.
Yeah, Tucker, plenty of time left in the game. 2 timeouts left as well. But this is a must-have-it drive right here. You have to go down and get at least 3, make it a 1-score game.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, running back to his left. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left with the ball on the left hash at the 25. Play action. And he's going to be sacked, wrapped up just a couple of seconds after he took the snap. Joe Onyewabagi on the play for Dartmouth. Big play in the backfield.
Onyewabagi does a fantastic job here. He is double-teamed with the tight end Jaden Allen, chipping him as well, but he fights through that and gets the sack.
Shotgun again for Smith. Jamel James is the running back. Takes the snap and dumps it off up the middle. Gets to about the 20-yard line. Does Jaden Allen that time on the tight end check down.
Tucker, they ran the same play earlier in the game. Motion the running back out, fake that screen, and come right back in the middle to the tight end screen. This time, it doesn't pick up as many yards, though.
Quick to 3rd down and behind the sticks again. 3rd down and 15 for Fordham. 8 minutes and 20 seconds ticking in the 4th quarter. Fordham down by 10. Gunnar Smith takes the snap. 3 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Looking to pass, and he's going to be sacked again, but the ball is free. It's recovered by the Fordham Rams. The call on the field is he was down by contact before the ball came loose, but either call is not going to help because that's going to bring up 4th down, and a Fordham Ram looks to still be down right now.
Looks like one of the linemen on the right side of the line.
I believe that was Owen Deutsch, the junior offensive lineman from Summit, New Jersey.
That is who Zion Freer-Brown was matched up with. The guy who ended up getting the sack on this play and punching that ball out.
Freer-Brown, the leading tackler on this Big Green team, 30 tackles on the year, 1.5 tackles for loss and a sack. He'll add another one on that play. He also has a recovered fumble this season, as back on his feet is Deutsch, walking gingerly on that right foot, but completely under his own power. Love to see it. And he will make his way to the sideline.
Yeah, and Tucker Freer-Brown, one of the guys in this linebacking room that has kind of been the central part of this Dartmouth defense. Their linebacking unit has been so good for them this year. One of the guys right there with the sack.
And whistles back to play. Both teams will return to line up. Fordham, the punt unit is out. Dom Sansone is out there to boot this one away. He'll be standing halfway into his own end zone before he steps into this kick. Back to receive for Dartmouth is Luke Reeves, the man who just caught the touchdown. 7 minutes, 50 seconds and ticking in the fourth quarter. The snap is good. Sansone's punt is excellent. Spinning down the field, it lands at the 50 and continues to bounce. It rolls all the way to the 40. And from out of his own end zone, that's a 60-yard punt from the leg of Dominic Sansone. And Dartmouth will take over with a 10-point lead, 7 minutes 37 on the clock in the game, and the ball on their own 40-yard line.
Tucker, I didn't realize a punt could have that tight of a spiral on it, as that one
It looks like
did.
he threw it, to be honest.
It did.
That is how tight that spiral was. A perfect strike of the football from the foot of Dom Sansone. And so, Grayson Saunier leads his Big Green back out onto the field in a clock-chewing situation. One receiver on the right, one on the left, ball on the left hash, running back to his left. And he hands it off to the left side, and he's got plenty of space across the 50 to the 45, and finally brought down in the secondary near Fordham's 40. But a run play that time for Desmond Jackson immediately busts Dartmouth out of their own half of the field.
Yeah, Dartmouth goes jumbo here, two tight ends, one on each side, and they run a counter. They pull the tight end from the right and the right guard and use them as lead blockers on the left side, and Jackson has so many blockers ahead of him, so much space.
Clock will tick under 7 minutes on this play. 23-13, Dartmouth leads. Two wide receivers on the right, none on the left. Running back to the left of Grayson Saunier. In the shotgun, claps to the snap, hands it off up the middle. Once again, it's Desmond Jackson for just a couple of yards. It brings up 2nd down and 7.
Once again, Desmond Jackson, but also once again, Corbo as the lead blocker, the tight end coming from right to left, opening that hole up for Jackson.
And Dartmouth, as a team, is really well constructed for a scenario like this. A lot of time on the clock, but with the lead, they can go back to their extremely reliable run game as much as they want on this drive. 2nd and 7, clock at 6:19. Three receivers on the right, none on the left. Ball on the left hash at Fordham's 35. The snap and another handoff. They try to go up the middle a little bit to the left side. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing more for Desmond Jackson.
Yeah, that's one run that there really wasn't a whole lot going, and that's something that we haven't seen a whole lot of from Dartmouth this game, is that offensive line not getting that much push.
Jackson off and DJ Cruther back into the game in a 3rd and medium. 3rd down and 7, but Cruther could certainly pick up all 7 of those yards on the ground if he wanted to. Fordham fans getting loud, trying to help their defense here. Grayson Saunier in the shotgun, Cruther offset to his left, puts a man in motion from left to right to put 3 receivers on the right side. He rolls to his right, looking to pass. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's forced out of bounds. First man on him was Drew Minnick, but he was finally tackled out of bounds by Osman.
That is great coverage on the back end there by Fordham. You have 3 receivers on the right side on this rollout pass. You got one sitting middle, one in the flat, and one running a corner route, and all 3 were very tightly covered. Saunier had nowhere to go with this ball.
Clock under 5 minutes to go, as Dartmouth has taken 4 full minutes off this clock now. 4th down and 5. They're going to go for it here. Grayson Saunier in the shotgun, DJ Cruther to his right. 2 wide receivers on either side. One of them is a tight end on the left, but they're all bunched in close to the line of scrimmage. Fordham brings most of their defense to the line. Back to pass is Saunier. He's pressured. He gets the ball out, and he has a man wide open at the 25, to the 20, now the 10, and into the end zone for the Dartmouth touchdown. It's Grayson O'Bara, Saunier's favorite target, and he catches his first touchdown of the 2025 season. There's a Dartmouth player down on the field back at the 25, but no flags as Dartmouth adds 6 to their lead. It's 29-13, Big Green.
Tucker, that is just a phenomenal play call there from Dartmouth. You know you're going to get man 4th and short. Fordham shows man before the snap, and then you run crossing routes that all rub together. One person is going to get open. It's hard to navigate that as a defender, trying to get around all these routes. O'Bara was the one who ended up open, wide open. His defender fell, and he walked in for the touchdown.
Ready for the extra point now, as the man who went down for Dartmouth was Luke Reeves, one of the touchdown catchers from this game. He was walking gingerly on that left leg.
It looked as if he had run into either another receiver or a Fordham defender running those crossing routes.
Kick is up and good from Owen Zelk. Makes it a 30-13 lead for Dartmouth with 4:32 to go. As Dartmouth, after scoring a little bit too quickly the drive before, they take their time and go methodically down the field the second time around. Get up to 30 points now for their largest lead of the afternoon. A lead of 17 over these Fordham Rams. And Fordham is going to have to put something together here. Brendan, what do they have to find 17 points in 4.5 minutes? It would be an extremely tall task, but Fordham has pulled a couple of turnovers in this game.
Well, Tucker, 3-possession game now, so that touchdown really was kind of a kill shot from Dartmouth. You need a quick score here, whether it's a kickoff return, whether it's within the first few plays of the drive. You need a very quick score. Go back, play some defense, use your timeouts, and then you're going to have to rely on an onside kick at the end of the game.
Really could not believe that was Grayson O'Bara's first touchdown. When I was doing preparation for this game, Brendan, you see that he's the leading receiver on the team, and he's Saunier's favorite target, a safety blanket for Saunier, but hadn't found the end zone yet until this week. The kickoff goes out of bounds right before the pylon on the right side, so Fordham with a bit of a break there on the kickoff infraction by Dartmouth. First mistake of the day for Matisse Weaver.
In this situation, that is a fantastic way to start your drive. Better field position than you had kind of expected. You're now at the 35-yard line, shorter field to go, but you still got to be quick here, Tucker.
Fordham needs to score quickly and very often if they're going to get back into this one. 4:32 to go in the fourth. 3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Ball starting on Fordham's 35. Running back to the left of Gunnar Smith is Ricky Parks. He hands it off to Parks, who goes up the middle between the hashes and gets 4 yards to the Fordham 39.
Tucker, that's a very conservative play call there. With this little time left, you've got to expect them to come out and start throwing the ball down the field.
Maybe trying to get Dartmouth to load the box a little bit. 2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left. It's a play action this time for Smith. He throws to Jack Freeberg, but it's over his head and out of bounds to the right. Stops the clock at 4:06, but quickly the Rams are at 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, Freeberg had a step on his defender going towards the sideline. Gunnar Smith had Jaden Allen underneath as well, but he wanted to throw this one further down the field. Just misses on this throw.
Fordham got to be careful not to waste a possession here. 3rd down and 6, 3 receivers on the right and 1 on the left. Running back to the left of Gunnar Smith. He claps. No movement. now takes the snap, hands it to Parks, who gets through the left side and upfield across the 45 to the 50. It's a first down, but he's tackled in bounds. Clock will roll under 4 minutes.
NASCAR here. Fordham offense going quick, going tempo.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, 2 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left. Fake the handoff, look over the middle. He has a man. He's hit at the 36-yard line and brought down.
Great job attacking the zone coverage there. Gunnar Smith finding the gap, hitting Freeberg in between a couple of linebackers.
Freeberg has been so good between the hash marks in this game, and they go back to him again. Smith in the shotgun, quick snap. Hands it off to Ricky Parks up the middle, who gets 4-5 yards, still pushing, leaning forward to get his 6th yard. And that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4, but the clock will continue to run here, getting towards 3 minutes left in the 4th.
At this point, Dartmouth is playing prevent defense. Just don't give up big plays. Let them take anything underneath.
D-backs playing 10 yards or more off the line of scrimmage here. Ricky Parks comes off. Jamel James comes on. He's lined up to the right of Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers on the right, 1 on the left. Ball on the Dartmouth 31 on the left hash. Play action. Smith looking deep down the right hash, and it's no good. Freeberg was in the end zone, but the ball landed about maybe 3 or 4 yards outside of the back of the end zone, and Jack Freeberg is hobbling in the end zone. He's going to try and get off the field right now.
That looked like he just kind of came down on his foot wrong. But a great route there. They had been hitting Freeberg over the middle consistently throughout the game. This time, faked that, sent him to the corner.
They're going to stop this game for a moment to try and get Freeberg off the field. Unless it was a timeout taken by one of these two teams, but at an incomplete pass, it certainly wasn't the Fordham Rams because the clock was stopped.
Looks like an official timeout here for an injury.
Yeah, so Jack Freeberg hurt himself in the back right corner of the end zone, and it happened after the throw, too.
It did. It looked like some sort of maybe misstep or...
Like when he made contact with the D-back in the back of the end zone, and he kind of landed wrong when he did make that contact.
Maybe he just tweaked his ankle because he appears to be walking fine now on the sideline.
He had to limp, though, all the way around the entire end zone from the far side of the field to the near side, the Fordham sideline. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off to Jamel James, who goes up the middle initially and cuts it back to the left. He gets to the 25-yard line, and that's going to move the chains. So huge pickup on 3rd and 4 there, but the clock under 2.5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Jamel James lines up in the slot on the left, empty backfield with 3 receivers on the right side and 2 on the left. Smith takes the shotgun snap, looks right, now tucks and runs. He goes up the middle. He has a block across the 20, now to the 15, and he's brought down. It's another first down for the Fordham Rams, now at the Dartmouth 15, but the clock will tick down to the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, quarterback draw there for Gunnar Smith. We know how good he is with his legs, just like the opposing side, Saunier. Gunnar Smith this time getting to show off his legs, take it up the middle with some great blocks.
Once again, thank you, fans, for joining us today.
And so with the 2-minute timeout, we're going to take a quick break. Dartmouth leads 30-13, but Fordham in the red zone with 2 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. You're listening to Fordham Football on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
And welcome back to Moglia Stadium at Jack Coffey Field here as the sun continues to sink in the late afternoon here on the Rose Hill campus of Fordham University. Tucker Austin and Brendan Shorey with you. At the 2-minute timeout, Fordham driving down 30-13 against the visiting Dartmouth Big Green on homecoming. But we go down to the field for one more sidelines report with Isabella Terracini. What do you have for us, Isabella?
Thanks, guys. As you mentioned, the Rams are trailing, but that does not stop the activity on the sidelines. They are bumping. They are having a good time. Linebacker, strength and conditioning coach Josh Greer had to settle down the Rams after the lineman Mike Thorne runs down the sideline screaming, "Let's go!" And the clock is ticking down, so I'm going to send it back up to the post.
Thank you very much, Isabella. Great work down on the sidelines. The handoff there up the middle from Gunnar Smith gets a handful of yards, brings up 2nd and 4 with 1:40 to go.
Yeah, Fordham's still going quick, but it looks like they're kind of conceding a little bit, Tucker.
Yeah, a lot of run on this drive. They've worked a lot of clock that they don't have to work. Gunnar Smith drops back and looks for the pass to the right side, but excellent defense at the goal line. He was looking for Jack Freeberg, trying to get him a second touchdown on the afternoon.
Yeah, Freeberg just with an in-breaking route there, about 5 yards, a couple yards short of the goal line. That one, just very tight coverage. Defensive back able to get a hand in there and knock that one away.
So the clock stops at 1:30. Fordham trails by 17. They're at the Dartmouth 10. 3rd down and 4. Gunnar Smith in the shotgun. Wide receivers on the right. There's a pair and one on the left. Drops back to pass. Has to evade the pressure. Now gets loose. Throws to the end zone, and it's nearly caught. But excellent play in coverage to cut across the route and slap the ball away. Maybe with better hands, he could have come down with that ball and iced this game with an interception. But instead, it's just an incompletion. Does bring up 4th down.
Great job by Gunnar Smith, showing off his athleticism, evading defenders behind the line of scrimmage, and a great throw, but a fantastic play on defense there, too.
Gunnar Smith in the shotgun once again. Jamel James offset to his left. Wide receiver on the left and right. Smith looking for the end zone. He fires to the left. It's tipped up in the air and out of bounds for an incompletion. The receiver, or the D-back, did come up with it, but it was out of bounds. So incomplete on 4th down, and that is just about going to do it as Dartmouth turns over the Fordham Rams on downs on their own 10-yard line. 1:17 to go. Fordham has 2 timeouts, but with a 17-point deficit, I doubt Coach Conlon takes them.
Tucker, I'm a little confused by that play right there. It seemed as if they only sent 3 guys out to run routes, 3 receivers, and it seemed as if they all ended up in the back left corner of the end zone. There was no one on the right side of the field. A little surprised they didn't try to stretch the field, spread everyone out, spread the defense out. But it falls incomplete. Fordham turns it over, and I had imagined that Dartmouth is just going to kneel this out.
And it is it's not quite victory formation yet. It's single back for DJ Cruther, and they are going to hand it off to Cruther, who goes through the left side. He's tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but scrambles forward for a yard or 2.
And Coach Conlon not calling any timeouts. He's staying away from the referee right now.
2nd down and 4, under a minute to go now, so it should just be one more touch, one more snap for the Dartmouth Big Green as the fans begin to exit the stands here at Moglia Stadium. 41, now 40 seconds as they ready the single back formation once again. No victory formation for Dartmouth as they're going to hand it off to Cruther once again. He goes up the middle. He's swallowed immediately. But all Dartmouth has to do now is wait for this ball game to end. Clock at 20. No movement from Conlon. No movement from McCorkle. Fans starting to applaud, players starting to shake hands as the clock winds down. And the Dartmouth Big Green are going to successfully spoil the Fordham Rams. The clock at zeros It's the Dartmouth Big Green 30 and the Fordham Rams 13 is your final from Moglia Stadium this afternoon. Fordham drops their second straight homecoming game.
Yeah, it drops their second straight homecoming game. Second year in a row that they have now lost to this Dartmouth team, both on the road and at home. Dartmouth now undefeated in the Bronx against the Fordham Rams. And the Rams would look to get back on track next week, as this was an out-of-conference game, middle of the season. Next week to go back into conference play, back into Patriot League play.
Yeah, Fordham heads back into Patriot League play now. Their next game is coming up next week. Family weekend here at Moglia Stadium against Lehigh. But the Fordham Rams fall at home this week to the Dartmouth Big Green. Gunnar Smith finished with 21 for 35 with 238 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He was sacked 3 times. The Fordham Rams only put up 90 yards on the ground. Meanwhile, Dartmouth outgained them in both dimensions of the game, both on the ground and in the air. The defense played well for most of this game, Brendan, but when you look at this box score, it really looks like a complete victory for the Dartmouth Big Green.
It does, and I think there's one thing that kind of isn't getting mentioned yet: third down success. Fordham went 5 of 15 on third down, 33%. That's just not going to cut it, especially when you have Dartmouth out here 6 for 13, almost at a 50% rate converting on third down. That big difference is not going to help at all.
And as the Dartmouth Big Green sing their alma mater to their visiting fans on the field, we send it back to the Rose Hill studio for the final time today for the one-on-one post-game report with Chris Carino and Anthony Smith. Take it away, guys.
Back here at the Rose Hill Studios, Dartmouth defeats Fordham 30-13. Fordham falls 1-6 on the year, 1-3 in the conference. We'll get to all that, but first, one last one-on-one scoreboard update with Anthony Smith. Take it over, Anthony.
Thanks, Chris. Colgate and Georgetown wrapping up gameplay in a seesaw matchup as the Hoyas have a 21-17 lead over the Raiders. Under 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Halftime is over in Virginia as Holy Cross maintains a 14-13 lead over Richmond. The Spiders kicked an early field goal in the third quarter. Vanderbilt comes up with a huge win over a conference opponent in LSU. The Commodores' QB Diego Pavia leads his team to a 31-24 win, scoring 3 total touchdowns, 2 rushing and 1 passing. Ole Miss and Georgia underway. The Bulldogs jump out to an early 3-0 lead until the Ole Miss Rebels went right down the field and score. They are up 6-3, awaiting the extra point. Let's take it on the ice as all 3 local teams are in action today. The New York Islanders are playing in Ottawa, facing the Senators. Islanders trailing 1-0 at the end of the first period. Connor McDavid and the Oilers on the road in the Prudential Center battling the New Jersey Devils just over 15 minutes in. Scoreless tie in the first period. And the New York Rangers are down in Canada today, playing the Montreal Canadiens. Puck drop scheduled for 7 p.m. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Chris Carino here with Anthony Smith. We'll get to the highlights of this one. There's a lot of highlights in the second half of this ball game. It started off with a pretty weird beginning to this second half, an onside kick from Bennett Henderson and Fordham. That gives Dartmouth great field position in their first drive of the second half, and it led to a score. It was DJ Crowther on the ground rushing it in for Dartmouth.
Saunier takes the shotgun snap, hands it off to Crowther. There's a big hole, and he bounces it around to the right, and he's still moving across the 10 to the 5 and into the end zone for the Dartmouth touchdown.
And then a little bit later, Dartmouth getting help on the other side of the ball as well. They force a turnover. It was an interception from Gunnar Smith, and that gave Dartmouth the ball right back.
James to his left, 3 receivers on the left and 1 on the right. Looks left, throws left. It's lofted towards the end zone, and it's intercepted in the end zone. Dartmouth has the football at their own 5, now to their 10, up to their 15, and lunging towards the 20, but he's down at the Dartmouth 18. But an interception by Dartmouth. That time it was Sean Williams, his 3rd interception of the season and his 2nd in 2 weeks.
After a few punts, Dartmouth got 3 more on the board. That made it 16-6. Eventually, Fordham had to punt the ball back to Dartmouth, and Fordham made their best defensive play of the afternoon. It was James Conway forcing a fumble, Cloudy Robinson picking it up, and Fordham getting the ball back down 16-6.
looking for a football now from the Fordham sideline. And it is Fordham's ball. Fordham forces a huge turnover here with 12:20 to go in the fourth quarter.
And then 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Jack Freeberg catching a touchdown in the end zone. That was 5 yards from Gunnar Smith, and that makes this a four-point ball game, a 3-point ball game with the extra point. 16-13 Dartmouth.
Smith in the shotgun. Ricky Parks to his left, lined up even. One wide out to the right in motion. It's Freeberg. It's a jet to Freeberg. He's at the 5, spinning for the end zone. He lunges and he's in. Touchdown, Fordham. Jack Freeberg on the jet sweep puts it in the end zone, and Fordham trails 16-12.
After that, it was all Dartmouth the rest of the afternoon. The last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter dominated by the Ivy League's own. A touchdown made this game 22-13. That was a pass from their quarterback to Luke Reeves, and that made it 22-13, a 2-score game with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Did he come down with it? It's a battle for the football. The call on the field is a touchdown from both referees. Touchdown, Dartmouth. It's Luke Reeves with the 25-yard touchdown reception, and Dartmouth takes a 22-13 lead.
That is such a good catch there by Reeves. He has to go up and catch this over a Fordham defender.
And then it was Grayson O'Bara putting the final cherry on top of this Dartmouth victory. He gets in on the action for a touchdown with 4 minutes left, and that was all she wrote. 29-13, 30 with the extra point, and that was all too much for Fordham to come back from.
Back to pass is Saunier. He's pressured. He gets the ball out, and he has a man wide open at the 25, to the 20, now the 10, and into the end zone for the Dartmouth touchdown. It's Grayson O'Bara.
You just heard him on the touchdown call. We're going to bring it back to the press box at Moglia Stadium. Tucker Austin on the call there, along with his partner Brendan Shorey. Guys, how are you? Another loss for this Fordham team, especially down the stretch, that second half. A tale of two halves. Not pretty in that second half.
Yeah, certainly a tale of two halves, Chris. Appreciate it, but Fordham drops to 1-6, and it was kind of a different experience this week because usually the Fordham Rams are slow to come out of the gates in the first half and then second half kind of put things together. But today they had things working for them in the second quarter, but then once they got to the second half, it just totally went away again. They finally got things back together in that fourth quarter when they put that Freeberg touchdown into the end zone. But again, it just wasn't enough compared to the consistent, efficient offense that Dartmouth was putting up, drive in and drive out.
Yeah, and defensively as well. First half, give up 6 points, but then you come out in the second half, you're outscored 24-0 in the second half alone. The defense just looked a whole lot different between the two halves with their ability to stop the run.
Hey guys, I just wanted to ask, we just talked about obviously Fordham switching personalities here from the first to the second half. What about Dartmouth, losing all that momentum at the end of the first half and really just bouncing back in the second half? What did you see that worked so well for them?
Well, I think at halftime, Anthony, they did a great job of going to the locker room and drawing up a drive to come out of the halftime break and really just put it to Fordham, because after a scoreless first quarter and straight field goals in the first half, Dartmouth they had a bit of PTSD, I think, from last week against Yale when they didn't score until the fourth quarter. So they're thinking, oh no, here we go again. We can't get the offense to work, so we got to come up with something designed to come out of the locker rooms and really stick it to the Fordham defense. They did just that, and it was none other than DJ Cruther, who was so good. He's been so good for them all year, but today, again, he was excellent. His 20-yard rushing touchdown at the start of the third quarter is what sort of began the deterioration of this game for the Fordham Rams.
And on that kind of note, that drive coming out of the half, they really established that run game for the second half with that drive. And then from there on, you're able to do stuff off of that. Like, they passed the ball so well in that second half. Saunier, something we hadn't really seen from him a whole lot this season, but he was airing the ball out. He was throwing the ball down the field, which is open because of that run game.
Yeah, Brendan, you say it there. Establishing the run game has been so important, especially for the success of Fordham this whole season. We saw more running on the ground for Fordham. Ricky Parks got a decent amount of run along with Lee Lewis and Jamel James. Can you talk about how important establishing the run is going to be for the future success of this Fordham team, and how important it truly is to any team's success, as we saw it today with Dartmouth?
Well, for Fordham, I think it's very cut and dry, Chris. Like, you look at the record, they're 1-5 this season. In 5 of the games that they've played this year, they haven't been able to establish the run. And in one of the games they played this year, they were successfully able to establish the run.
It doesn't seem like a coincidence that's the one they won.
It is not a coincidence, Chris. And sure, yeah, Ricky Parks he got plenty of looks today. He wound up with 46 yards on the ground. Fordham had just 90 total. But when you look at the averages, Dartmouth versus Fordham in this game, the law of averages comes into play heavily. Ricky Parks with an average of 3.8 yards per carry, Jamel James with 3.5 yards per carry, and Johan Lee Lewis with 2.2 yards per carry. Meanwhile, Dartmouth ran 3 different backs, including their quarterback in this game. All 3 of the people who rushed the ball for the Big Green today had at least 5 yards average per carry. So it's just about the offensive line being able to get that push and having the power backs that are able to go get that extra 2, 3, maybe extra 4 yards after contact at the line of scrimmage.
And listen, I know it's said all the time, but your ability to run the ball kind of dictates everything else in the game. It sets up the pass. It sets up the play action. Your ability to run the ball, if you're able to go and consistently go over 4 yards a carry, defenses have to worry about that, and they have to actually stack the box against you. When that happens, it opens up stuff down the field. So it's complementary football. You run the ball well. You pass it well. Fordham's just hasn't been able to find their footing in a majority of these games this season, running the ball well, which leads to a lot of passing, but the other defense knows you're going to pass.
And Dartmouth rarely, if ever, sent more than 4 at the line of scrimmage, but pretty much every play, Gunnar Smith was under some kind of pressure. He was sacked 3 times. He was hurried plenty. He didn't get flushed out of the pocket that much because the pocket wasn't open enough for him to actually flush out. It was getting collapsed around him almost every other play.
Yeah, guys, Fordham this week took a break from conference play, playing a tough Ivy League team. The road does not get easier next week. They are battling an undefeated Lehigh team. What needs to change for this Fordham team and able to try and hand Lehigh their first loss of the season next week?
We just mentioned, I think one big part is getting the run game going. I think that's going to be huge. If you're able to run the ball, you have that ability to control the clock, and you want to keep the ball out of Lehigh's hands. So if you can control that clock, you can keep your offense on the field, keep their defense on the field, and then that tires their defense out, where when your defense is able to go out and get stops or get scored on, their defense goes right back out, already tired. I think that's going to become a huge part of the game, is running the ball and time of possession.
I think Fordham needs to kind of take a different sort of approach offensively, because only in the Holy Cross game, and as you heard from Anthony's updates, Holy Cross is still chasing their first win of the season, so they're not exactly the bar for success. Fordham really needs to kind of take a look at their offense and the way that they attack teams offensively and kind of make a fundamental change, because their run game can't get going, and when the run game can't get going, they can't really do much of anything in the passing game. But we say that, but they still picked up 238 yards through the air. So it's not a dysfunctional offense. It's just the way that they put all the plays together, it doesn't result in as many points as it probably should. I mean, you throw in all the mistakes that they had today. They were heavily penalized in this game. Fordham, 7 penalties for 57 yards against 1 penalty for 10 yards for Dartmouth. And the interception, of course, from Gunnar Smith came when Fordham was driving nearly at the doorstep of the end zone. So if you got to change the mindset offensively while also limiting the mistakes, because really in this game it wound up a 17-point game. Fordham was as close as 3. You take away some of those mistakes from earlier in this game, and it could have had a totally different complexion in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, got to play clean football.
Well, thank you guys for the time. Fantastic broadcast, as always. Safe trip back to the studio. Brendan Shorey and Tucker Austin on the call in the press box. Fantastic, as always. We're going to recenter ourselves back here at the Rose Hill studio with me and Anthony. Anthony's here with me to discuss this one. Anthony, a lot of what they said there, we can sort of just expand on, talking about the run game, how important it is to establish that. It felt in the fourth quarter of this game, defensively the wheels fell off a little bit, but to their point, to Tucker's point, this offense seemed to get going and get some sort of groove in that fourth quarter. It's about maintaining that consistently over 4 quarters.
Yeah, a big part for this Fordham offense is that they can have good drives here and there. You saw it in the first half. There were some good drives set up inside their own 20. They marched down the field. But it's really important of just like bringing it all together and remaining consistent throughout the game. That's where you get all your points from. As you saw Dartmouth, they remained consistent in that second half, scoring almost every drive.
Yeah, we didn't mention it. I'd love to give some love to Andrew Osman, James Conway, 2 linebackers on this team. They combined for 28 tackles in this game. Conway, that's not surprising. Osman maybe stepping up a little bit today. 9 solo tackles for James Conway. He's such a force for this Fordham defense. I took a lot of positives away from this Fordham defense in that first half. Obviously not as many in the second half, but a lot of things to take positively from this game to move forward, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, I think this, obviously you mentioned the 2 linebackers that played amazing today. It's really just a joint effort, obviously, that they're playing really great, but they need the rest of the defense to step up together, like they did in that first half, holding Dartmouth offense to 6 points and shutting them down inside the red zone, but that's not really what the story was for the second half. It kind of fell apart, and you mentioned the wheels falling off for Fordham's defense.
Yeah, weird to tell the story of this Fordham offense throughout this game. As Tucker said, it wasn't super dysfunctional. 238 yards from Gunnar Smith. Seemed like the love was getting shared relatively. Freeberg, 6 receptions. Noden Tracy, 5 receptions. Jaden Allen, the tight end, 3 receptions. It seemed like the love was getting shared, but without establishing the run, Anthony, there's a certain cap, a certain ceiling on the success of this past game. Has to be.
Yeah. Dartmouth's defense really started to play better on the passing game. Got that interception early in the second half, and you just can't rely only on the passing game. It needs to be both forces working to create good offensive drives and get you in the end zone, which we really didn't see that much today from Fordham's offense.
And we saw it today from Dartmouth's offense. Dartmouth, a really good model today, I think, of how this Fordham offense should want to try to have success going forward in this season. Speaking of the future and going forward, you mentioned it. A tough game coming up next on the schedule, maybe the toughest game in the conference. Lehigh, they've been so good this year, almost like a buzzsaw. What does Fordham have to do, not even to necessarily get a victory next weekend, but to be proud of themselves looking in the mirror after a performance against one of the better teams in the conference?
I think it all starts with how they open up the game. They can't really let this loss get into their mindset the whole season. I think they need to come out, and just needs to be like a lightning strike for Fordham. They need to go down and score, come up with a big stop right away out of the gates, and just try and see if they can catch Lehigh off the ropes a little bit and get an early lead on them.
Yeah, I think the early lead is really important, especially just the first half. I think the offense has been slow in the first half of most games this season. Fordham consistently playing 4 quarters. We're not even meeting down the stretch. We mean in the first quarter, in the second quarter. It seems like Gunnar Smith getting a little more consistent. 1 interception again today. He's had a problem with those all season, but it seems the run game will just help everything. We saw improvement there. The run game 2 weeks ago before the bye week was really poor when they played at Lafayette. It really hurt this past game. Past game was also hurt from subtractions today. Ricky Gonzalez was out. He set his career high in receptions last week, so he was missing there. The team just never seemed to get their groove all the way until the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter seemed to be where this team was clicking a little bit offensively, but as we said, we keep harping on it. The consistency is really what this team is after.
I was going to add on that, actually, Chris. Forgot to mention that right before what I just said. It's they can jump out to this early lead. They can score on the first play of the drive, but it's all about just remaining consistent. Do they keep that throughout the rest of the game, or is it, they score on this first drive and then they struggle to score another 7 points till the fourth quarter? As for today, you said they clicked in fourth quarter. That can't happen in a football game. You can't have your offense start to click in the fourth quarter, and it just needs to be a complete team effort. Everybody needs to be clicking throughout the rest of the game. It's with football, you don't get a second chance. You're down 20-0, and the game's not essentially over, but.
Yeah, and I think especially next weekend, a full effort is going to be needed to even compete with a team like Lehigh. Such an impressive roster on both ends of the field. So that'll definitely be an interesting one. That one's here same time next week, 1 o'clock at Moglia Stadium. Parents Weekend, Anthony. So should be a lot of parents and just general good vibes around campus. Fordham Rams fall to 1-6 on the season, 1-3 in conference play as they fall 30-13 to Dartmouth. They got action next week, as we said, against Lehigh. That should be an interesting one. Back to Patriot League play. For now, for me, Chris Carino, I want to thank everyone in studio with me. Of course, had those fantastic updates all day long. Anthony Smith, Ari Prashad, first engineering role along with Anthony, also on his first update role. Had 2 new people at highlights, Max Langer, Ethan Bess, also trying their first shot at highlights. A relatively new crew today that did a fantastic job. Thank you to everyone who listened to this Fordham football broadcast. This is a product of WFUV Sports, and of course, he thought I'd forget him. On production today, Bobby Chaffardini getting it done. Appreciate everyone in studio on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Thank you. This has been a production of WFUV Sports.
Down for the day of the leaves. Oh, describing the various colors.